Hopefully you guys can share it out too. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's popping here? Oh, actually, oh, it just started. Yeah. All right. Hey, what's popping, everybody? It's Gaming Despair, man. Just chilling out here, rocking out with the fam. We got Jez, we got Karaba, we got Kay, Lamar, and my dude King Thrash, man. What's up with y'all, man? What's been popping? I know that Thrash doesn't do introductions, but fuck it, he's gonna have to do it anyways.
Yeah. I'm chilling, bro. If I'm not still botting, I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing good. It's a good day, getting ready to go to work. Same old deal.
All right, Lamar, what's up, man? What's popping with you, bro?
I've mostly been playing a lot of Last of Us 2 and Guilty Gear.
Yeah, he's butting as well.
What the?
I don't hear him butting. Oh, he is butting. Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead.
I've been playing a lot of Last of Us 2 and Splitgate.
Yeah, no, he's butting way too much.
Yeah. Hey, actually, let's go to Kay and then hopefully Lamar. Hey, Lamar, just try to unplug your mic and put it back in, or just come out and then come back in. All right. Okay.
Somebody there. Yeah.
Hey, nothing much. Just working and playing some games when I get the chance.
Gotcha. All right. I'm driving too, I'm guessing.
Now, I'm not driving right now, but probably in about an hour I'll have to get going.
Gotcha. What about? Yeah, I usually keep my shows pretty short, so it's fine with that. Karaba, my dude.
Yeah, I've been playing Immortal Phoenix Rising. It's I got all 3 DLCs for €20, and I got the game for €30. So yeah, I'm already done with the first and third DLC, and I'm now playing the second one. But I have the feeling I'm gonna take a break from this game and buy what's called Crystal, because that game is launching today, and I'm super excited for it.
Gotcha. That's what's up, man. What about you, Jez, man?
What's up, man? Yo, thanks for the invite. I just wanted to let you know I went to YouTube and you have this show that says test on it.
I know, I saw it.
Okay, I just want to make sure you didn't edit that. Dude, I know. Yeah, this whole streaming thing is a pain in the ass. But yeah, thanks for the invite, man. Yeah, so I've been playing I've been playing Splitgate. Actually, it's pretty crazy. I've been enjoying that game. Like, it's free to play, horseshit stuff. But the fact that they merged Portal and Halo together in a game I think it came out on PC like 6 months ago, something like that. But it finally came on consoles, and I was checking it out, and I was just rocking in that. But it's pretty fun, just messing around with the portals and having people kind of chase your guy going into the portal, and you come back around them and shoot him. Like, it's pretty satisfying. And I've been playing that, and then I've been really trying to wrap up Plague's Tale. We were talking about it earlier. The implementation of the DualSense with that is really, it's really cool how they've done that, especially with the sound and the DualSense together. Because I started it a little bit on PC, but then playing the rest of it on with the DualSense support into it is really cool. And I think the game, it does have some elements. It kind of reminds me a little bit, some things of like how you have the crafting on the fly, things like that, how they do that in those games like Last of Us and even Horizon. It does have those kind of elements, but it's cool narrative. It's interesting. The puzzle, it's a lot of puzzle concept and sneaking around, but I think it's a pretty cool game. And I think just having the immersion there with the DualSense is pretty neat.
Gotcha, man. That's one game I already downloaded too on the PS5, and that's one game that I'm actually anticipating checking out because it's very interesting, especially with the whole rats and stuff like that. It kind of reminds me of Dishonored in some sense, but I'm pretty sure it's different.
Has
right?
Yeah, it has elements of like I wouldn't say Last of Us, but it kind of reminds you a little bit, coming to sneaking elements and
no, it has elements of Last of Us a little bit.
Yeah, it does. That's why. It's like it does remind me a little bit of Last of Us, like the sneaking around stuff, like some of the puzzles elements of it, and then you kind of have to you could your brother, you could leave him there and and kind of do things, but then if you just leave him there, he gets panicky and makes a lot of noise, and then people will come and get after him and stuff. But the story is pretty neat, and the element of the rats and how they are against the light, how you have to kind of look for light and stuff. There's nothing too complicated. And I'm going to tell you something else that's pretty interesting with the PS5. It uses the hints elements too. So like when you're looking at the the cards, the cards, which a lot of people don't really speak about, but the cards,
use it.
they actually have the hints, and you can find hints to help you with all the collectibles, the unlocks on the map to get 100% in it. So, and you know, I think there's a lot more games that are doing it, but not a lot of people are speaking about how those hints are rolled into some of those games as part of a PS5 feature.
The problem with the card aspect is some of them works well, and other they just show you information. You don't have an actual video of letting you know what you're missing, where you can get it, especially when it comes to what's called collectible.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Or not the thing that you're looking for and stuff. But yeah, and also too, like the jumping into certain activities directly. Some work really well, take you right into it. Some take you to the load screen. Some take you to like the main screen, and then don't work as well. But when they do work, those activities are pretty cool.
Yeah, I get you. Hey, let's jump on the topics real quick. I only had like about 3, I think, and then I think Karaba wanted to talk about Psychonauts. But one of the topics that I wanted to cover was the Steam Deck, right? The Steam Deck versus the Nintendo Switch. Okay, so here's my problems with it. The thing is that I think it'll sell well. You know, the Steam Deck will sell well, but can it actually conquer the Nintendo Switch, man? Because like I don't think so. Because the thing is, Nintendo already has their market, and the way I look at the Steam Deck, it's very niche. You know, I mean, I just don't see PC guys going out there and saying like, "Oh, I need this." You know what I mean? Especially when it's got low resolution. I mean, well, then again, let's face it. You know, not all PC gamers have 4K compatible PCs, high-end PCs, just in general. You know, so I mean, it could work out, but I don't know what you guys think about that because they're calling it the Nintendo Switch killer, and I just don't see it. Because Nintendo, man, those motherfuckers, they're on their own shit. You know what I mean? They just do well, like pretty much off their brands, the brand titles, and all that stuff. Like I don't know what you guys think about Steam Deck and Nintendo Switch.
Okay, so from my experience, and I'm not a PC gamer, I find it very interesting that all the people that were saying, I don't need a console because I want my resolution to be 4K, 8K, Black K, are now all of a sudden putting pre-orders for a handheld that is doing 720p. Like, that by itself is glorious. Irony. Other than that, I do believe this could be a Switch killer, and for one reason only. The fact that you're able to emulate most of the games, like for example PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3 even, I'm not sure about that, and then there is a Nintendo emulation that you can make use of.
Wait, hold on. Speak on emulation. Will emulation help the game run better, or I mean, how does that work exactly?
It's not that it will harm the game run better, but more like give you the ability to play emulated games on a handheld. Something we don't have right now. Like the only thing that we can think of is Vita, and who's playing with Vita right now?
Me.
And what I mean by that is also that Nintendo got, like, how should I say, their focus is mainly a little bit of first party games and a few third party, and that's it. But with this, you got all your Steam library and also additional emulation. And I am not sure if the Steam Deck is strong enough to emulate Switch games. You gotta ask someone like Thrash or Wooly if he was here.
I don't know. Thrash, can you elaborate on that real quick? I don't know if he's there, if he's driving right now. Probably want to.
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right.
I was talking to the teller.
Is the Steam Deck strong enough to emulate Switch games?
Yeah, it's just not gonna have the same resolution as Switch games. Like just inherently, the screen on that thing is up to 800p. And, you know, I'm playing Zelda right now. That's 1080p. So it's like you're gonna be paying more money to have downgraded games. That's it. Thanks, boss. Yeah, you're gonna be paying more money to play downgraded games. You know what I'm saying? It's stupid to actually get it because that's in every aspect of it. And you do the same thing with PlayStation, do the same thing with Xbox, but you're having a downgraded experience. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't like this shit because it's like, I mean, I don't care about it, to be honest. I just don't like anything PC.
Oh,
but it's
way,
like,
Thresh,
what does PC have to offer?
Thresh. Hey, I want you to be King Thresh, all right, man? You can swear all you want.
Hey.
I don't want people thinking that you have a fucking pastor next to you. You know what I'm saying?
Nah. Hey, I'm in the bank right now. I'm in the bank. I'm black and I got a mask on. I'm in the bank. I have a mask on, and I'm black. So if I start cussing, it's going to be a robbery thought. You know what I'm saying? They're going to hit the slide in the Mars.
It's like at that point, like
there's a black guy mask. That's all we need to hear, man. We're on the way. You know,
like, he ain't trying to get nothing twisted. That's about.
It's saying something about a switch. You got a switch.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? A switch and a steam something.
I'm saying, what you mean you got a switch on you? What?
Yeah.
Damn.
I'm playing the switch right
and I'm
now.
like, I don't know if that's code. I don't know if that's hood code for a robbery, but robbery, man.
Nah, I get you, bro. Yeah, that shit does seem kind of sus. You started yelling right now.
Yeah. I'm just going to the bank. I'm good. I'm in the same place now.
All right, okay. Go ahead. Be Thresh, man. Oh, my bad. Okay, what is it?
I mean, that shit is garbage. I mean, I don't want to. I wouldn't. I mean, the Steam Deck can emulate everything, right? But it's like if you're going to emulate or if you're going to buy it, you got to buy it with more memory. It's kind of like the Series S to me, because it's low memory unless you buy higher, and if you buy higher, like what are you paying for? Memory? What are you paying an extra $200-$300 for? Like, why does extra memory cost more? Why does extra anything cost more? Especially if it's still limited to 720p on the screen. You know what I'm saying? So, or 800p if they want to add the extra little p because of the screen, the way the screen is made.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's for some people. I don't even see PC guys buying it because the specs isn't high enough for a PC guy to be impressed with.
That's what I'm saying, Thresh. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, it's not going to cater to PC people because, bro, some of these guys have like some high-end PCs or like mid-gen. I mean, PCs and stuff like that. Why would they go out there and buy it? I mean, it's not like Nintendo Switch, bro. Like they got the exclusives and they run well. You know what I mean? Because it run the Nintendo games run well on the Switch. You know, because they're obviously made for that system. But I mean, is it a Switch killer? Yeah. No, I just can't see that.
Yeah, see, yeah. Nah.
Nowhere close.
And I think too.
I see it as if a PC guy. My bad, but if a PC guy were to see you with a Switch deck, they'd be like, "What is this peasantry?"
Yeah, like the thing is, like I think the comparison with the Switch was just. It looks like the Switch, and the fact is that Nintendo kind of failed everybody with just that OLED update and not this Pro that everybody was rumored about. You know, Insiders and their horse shit. You know, this Pro that's coming out, and I think Nintendo just denied. I think people were just disappointed, and then just to see Steam come out with their device, and now it looks like a Switch, and like there's the Switch Pro that we wanted. We all know that the Switch has a whole library of games that the Steam Deck will never get. And games that would drive usually the platform. And the one thing that the Steam thing has going for it with the Steam Deck is that it does have your Steam library. Now, for me, I pre-ordered it because for $5, why not? But if they wanted like half the price of $500 for it, no, I wasn't pre-ordering it. But for $5, hold my reservation, whatever. You know, let me find out more about it because I don't think we know too much about it, especially the dealing with the operating system. The fact is that it uses SteamOS and Linux, and does it work with all your Steam games or some of Steam games? Like you're hearing already, Destiny 2 is not going to work on it. Some multiplayer games might not work on it because it's not using the Windows version of Steam. It's using the Linux OS special edition of Steam. So what's available, what's going to run, how it runs, we need to see. Because I think the problem that a lot of people are saying, and I was on, talking to other people about it, was that the potential of this device, because of its form factor and the fact that you could wipe it clean and install Windows and do whatever, I think that's an appeal, this whole homebrew market for this device. I want to know what is it first and what their vision is it for optimization before I go into the whole, I'm just going to get this thing and wipe it clean and put my own shit on it. The thing is that, well, the homebrew thing is something that you can't attest the value of. You need to see what they're going to do with this thing, but I don't want to buy it for homebrew. Like that is a good plus. But I want to know what this device offers at first, because that's what it is for face value. And I think right now it looks all right. I'm not a huge fan of the button layout. I think having 2 touchpads on the side, I think they should have had the sticks offshoot. I think there's too many buttons up top, like at the top section with the face buttons and the analog sticks and the triggers right there. But we'll see what more information about it, but this thing is not going to kill anything with the Switch. And like you said before, like I don't think PC gamers are gonna, who primarily play with keyboard and mouse, want to take some sort of device like this, like a Switch, on the go. Some people may, but I do think that, I think the potential of putting Windows on it or doing something like that, I think that is kind of preceding what the hell this thing is. And the last point I'll make about the Steam stuff and is that they're not good with hardware at all. Steam boxes, done. That Steam controller, done. The Steam Deck, they're not good with hardware. The Vive, they made Oculus. The Vive was great. I have the Vive, HTC Vive. That's partnered with Steam OS. And they just kind of did their thing with it and let it go. And Oculus has taken over, especially with evolving the VR, where they kind of stopped with Steam OS and HTC. Like, and HTC is probably the problem with it too. But they're just not good with hardware, and they kind of just abandoned it. And I could see them taking this thing and probably a year later just be like, whatever, and Homebrew just takes it away, and look at all the cool things I can do with it. Similar to like the original PSP, if you remember, like when they stopped making games and they stopped bringing them over to the US, like everybody just turned it into a Homebrew machine, emulators and stuff. Homebrew is all like that stuff, like where you, like people put their own operating systems on there. They kind of make their own programs, or they kind of hack the machine and turn it into, it's called homebrew market. They do it a lot with, they make their own OSs, they make their own emulators, or they just create, it's like user created experiences on the device and kind of hacking it. And that's what a lot of people see the potential. They go, "Oh, this is awesome! I'll put all emulators on it." Mm-hmm. I could give you a device for $100 on Amazon right now that comes with all the games, and it's smaller than a PSP and plays thousands of games, MAME emulators, and all that other stuff. You don't need to spend $500 on a device for that to play like old NES games on it. You can do that on your phone, Annie. But like that's where people are looking at this thing and seeing the value in that area, the hacking, the Reddit posts, and what can you do with this thing, rather than what they're trying to sell it as a Steam machine on the go.
Mm-hmm.
So, but for $5, I'll hold on to it, see if it's even worthwhile, and then proceed with it if it seems to be there. But I'm still cautiously approaching it. I got the middle one, which has the $529 one for the 256 SSD, because the first one has a 64 megabyte eMMC, which is the slower hard drive. And this one has 256. So if you're going to be putting games on there. The other thing too is that the M.2 drive that they have in this machine is in the base version, but you have to like void warranty to open it up and put your own M.2 drive in it, which I'm sure people will do, because that's what PC gamers do. They tinker, they open things up, they do all that stuff. And the capabilities of this, it's a laptop basically. And that's the other thing with it. If you're going to be a mobile gamer and you want to take your games on the go, most likely you get a gaming laptop.
I guess your $5 is gonna become $2,000, $3,000 very soon.
And I want to know battery life. That's the other thing too. Like, that was one problem I always had with the Switch was like if you want to take this thing on a plane ride or take this thing on the go, like your Switch is going to last a certain amount of time depending on the games that you're playing. And, Nintendo definitely is aware of that. Like this Steam machine, like if you want to like kind of add ray tracing to your game in 720p, like does that make you play an hour of the game? Like if you turn up all the features, because it does have the ray tracing, AMD shit in it. And like, if I saw increasing shadow details and all this other stuff that you can do in this game, like, does that decrease my battery life? And I'm like constantly tinkering around with settings to try to get maximum battery lives. Like, what is the battery life on this? And they're telling you, oh, well, it's like 4 hours on Portal. Portal is an old ass game. What is it running like with Gears 5 or something? Well, even some like friggin' game that just came out, like Cyberpunk. Let's see. Was it running with Cyberpunk? What, a half hour? An hour? What is it doing? But don't tell me Portal. And like, those are, that's
what they always do.
Yeah.
That's what they always do. If it's already a bad sign if they're using a game like that in a time like this. I mean, there's like you said, there's so many newer, more demanding games. That
even The Witcher.
I mean, Portal. I mean, what are they talking about? The multiplayer version of that shit? Like what if you?
No, they're talking about the friggin'
Wi-Fi.
Portal 2 or some shit
single
like
player,
that.
Right.
Yeah,
single player. Wi-Fi as well. You know what I'm saying? What happens if you're using Wi-Fi?
Exactly.
What's going on? Like, yeah, I can't fuck with it. I already know I can't fuck with it. I mean,
and how hot does it get? You know what I mean? It's a little chip. Yeah. How hot does it get? And what is the battery life on this thing when you're trying to put Witcher on? And do you have control over those settings? And then also, too, on top of that, people are like, hey, let me put Windows 10 on there. Good luck with your resources on that goddamn thing, because Windows 10 is going to think it's a laptop. So you're going to have that shit running background processes on it. And good luck. Now, your battery life might be even half. So your hacking of it now could ruin your experience on the go. There's a lot of problems with it. And but for $5, I'll hold on to it. We'll see.
Hey, that's one thing, Judge. You said that I was kind of concerned about it as well. It was the where the button layout is, right? Can you imagine you're tired as hell and your fingers are all the way at the top of the console and you accidentally drop it? I mean, I just don't understand.
Oh no!
Yeah, I just don't understand how it works. To me personally, like I tried imagining myself, like, okay, so let me pretend I'm holding it. How does this shit work? And they have the pads for the the mouse. It's not gonna. It's supposed to. The pads,
small touchpads.
Yeah, they're supposed to react as keyboard. I mean, not keyboard. I'm sorry, mouses. But it's such a weird layout that I just don't understand how it would function properly. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think though that touchpad is more for like your strategy games, a point and click and stuff like that, where you don't have to worry about using a stick to move a mouse cursor. Like you get a little more precision. But the problem is that I would think that you would keep it on a touchpad on one side, not touchpads on both sides. But that's a legacy of their Steam controller. Remember, their Steam controller was so weird because it didn't have analog sticks. It had those touch zones on it. Remember, like that Steam controller that they discontinued like 2 years ago, and you could get it for like $5.
Yeah, I remember what you're talking about. Yeah.
Everybody was like, "What the hell is this controller?" And I was like, "This." It's because they were trying to push the Steam big picture back before they were trying to do the Steam boxes. And the thing is that it's gonna sell. It's not gonna sell like off the charts or anything. It's not even gonna sell even close to the Switch, because the Switch has an established market, but Switch has the games. It has games that you only could play there, and that's where Nintendo comes from, and that's why Nintendo could give you an OLED for $50 and people are going to buy it, even though everybody wants a more powerful Nintendo machine. They wanted it since the Wii.
Yeah,
but
that's the thing I was
Nintendo
talking about.
Just don't care.
That's the thing what I was talking about. Like, is it really going to cater to the PC community? Like, like pretty much, like pretty much, like what Lamar ended up saying. He said, PC guys are gonna look at this shit and they're gonna be like, "What the peasantry is this shit?" You know what I'm saying? Like, so
it almost feels like a novelty, to be honest.
It is. That's a great description. Yep.
But here is the thing: people have always wanted a company to push Nintendo to its limit, because we all know Nintendo can get away with murder. Like, they genuinely can. They're literally putting an OLED screen and not even upping the battery life or anything, and they're selling it for $350. And now they went.
It's literally the same specs. Like everything is the same, just with a bigger screen.
Yeah. And they're selling it for $350. Now they, I think, made it $300. I forgot.
They made it 300 on Walmart, I believe.
Somebody made it 3. Yeah, they took it. See what I think. See, my whole thing with the Switch was you have your catering to your mobile market with the Switch Lite, and then you have your hybrid, which is a regular Switch, and then you would cater to the docked people with, maybe a more powerful machine or it's more powerful when it's docked. But them just going OLED, I think eventually this is going to replace the one Switch, the main Switch that's on now, and then they're going to introduce the Pro probably a year or so from now. And this one will just replace it, and the Pro will probably have an OLED and it'll have the better battery. And the thing is,
gonna be?
Yeah.
Oh my bad, I'm gonna interrupt.
No, yeah, what was it?
What I feel like the Pro should be, or it's either this or I'm smarter than Nintendo. All right, this is what they should do to make life easier and make way more money, and not have to spend too much money for both them and the gamer. Is make an updated dock.
Yes,
That's all you gotta
that's
do.
what I was saying. Day one, exactly.
That's all you gotta do. I mean, if
With
you're
a
gonna,
little
you don't
GPU
feel like you
in
don't have to update. Yeah, you don't have to like tinker with the fucking machine too much, making that cost more. Worrying about battery life, people will still enjoy the same. Just like the OLED, you got your OLED shit now. So if you want to upgrade the experience, 4K, all that extra shit, okay. Well, people have these TVs. You have a dock to connect it. Your dock already upgrades your game now. So just make that dock more powerful. Sell it for 100, 200, whatever, and boom. You can fucking sell docks already having the people that you have on top of that. Now you have more people who want to switch because now you can fucking play Mario in 4K. The reason why that Steam shit ain't gonna hurt Nintendo isn't because of the hardware. It's more because the games. People want to switch Pro because they want to play Mario in 4K, whatever.
Right.
The games,
4K.
exactly.
Yeah,
The games.
Right.
So
And how many families that just buy the Switch for their young children and none of them know anything about, the hardware or tinkering with hardware? They're not going to go and get the Steam Deck and be like, you know what, I'm going to put some emulators on there.
Yeah, no way.
Exactly.
Totally different markets, exactly.
And that's the thing too, like parents and stuff like that. They're familiar with Nintendo. Everybody knows what the fuck Nintendo is. They rather buy a
they grew up with
Nintendo
it.
than exactly. They rather buy a Nintendo than a Steam Deck. Like a Steam Deck, what the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. They're like a PC, and exactly, and also too, if they and I was saying the same thing that King was saying about the whole putting a dock there, like that satisfies the people who primarily play it docked. Like I have it docked and just play it that way. And I would love for it to just take the advantages of the TV that's plugged into and do it that way. But again, the aesthetics of the Nintendo games kind of. It would look sharper, but I don't think Nintendo's one to give us all this ray tracing and all this other stuff. So for Nintendo, keeping it simple with their game design, see their games, and this is always the thing that I always said is very important, is that when you are developing for a device, like how Sony develops for the PlayStation 5, and they develop for a focused on a single system, those exclusives, not just because of exclusivity to go championing it on Twitter, but actually exclusivity because you have people knowing what the product is that they're developing for, and they'll make the games for that product to maximize the potential of it. That's where, Nintendo, they know their hardware, so they have their games built for that hardware. Now, people want to see bigger and better and stuff like that, as everybody thinks, they should, but Nintendo is just They found their niche. They found their area. They're the kids and whoever's paying the stuff. That's the charm of it, and that's kind of their MO now. Mm-hmm. That if they give you like a realistic Mario with like real facial hair and stuff, people can be freaked the hell out. Like, holy shit, Mario, got real hair on his friggin' mustache. Like, I don't think people want that. They want
No.
So that's what they do. So, but I do think having a more powerful dock And Noah King, that's like right up Nintendo's alley, giving you these kind of accessories. They did it with the expansion thing for the N64. They did it with the Game Boy Advance, all these attachments, lights and cameras. I'm surprised they haven't gone to craziness with the Switch, doing those kind of attachments with the dock.
And that's crazy, man. With Nintendo 2, man, like I said, they do their own thing, man, and it's always gonna sell well. They got their exclusives, and people love them. You know, fuck. I had a point, but go ahead. I think Thrash, you were gonna say something. I fucking forgot. I lost my train of thought.
And he said I had a point, but no. I think overall, at the end of the day, I mean, like I forgot. I think Jez was saying it earlier. They just don't know how to build machines right. And
yeah, they don't.
I mean, you can tell by that fucking Steam controller, bro. If you look at it, it's fucking concave backwards, like the underside of a fucking Xbox controller.
Oh, by the way, what I was trying to say, Thrash, I just remembered right now. What I was trying to say that Nintendo guys, I remember there was an article, right? And ended up saying that Nintendo guys, they don't really care about third-party stuff. So, like, obviously Nintendo is doing something right because people keep coming out and buying their Nintendo exclusives. So they're right in that department. You know what I'm saying? So is it a Switch killer? It's not going to. It's not.
It's not just a console.
There's no way.
Yeah, go ahead, Thrash.
I mean,
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, bro.
How many Nintendo killers have there been as far as handheld go? You had the Game Gear supposed to kill Game Boy. You had the PSP supposed to kill the DS. The Vita supposed to kill the 3DS.
Cell phones supposed to kill everything.
There's no such thing as killing something that's too popular. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that's going to kill Nintendo is Nintendo. There's no other way around it. It has too many fans. It has too much trust. If you say Nintendo
is basically the own worst enemy.
Yeah, if you say Nintendo to your grandma, she's going to know what it is. If you say Nintendo to your youngest brother, he's going to know what it is. Like, it's just universal. You go and ask your grandma what the fuck a Steam is, and she's gonna be like, "You want broccoli for dinner? Like, what's going on?" Like, like it's a brand thing, and once that brand thing is made, you're untouchable. It's like Disney, you know?
Exactly.
It's the same way. Like, they're untouchable. You know, so regardless of how bad.
I'm going for it.
Yeah, I mean, they just ruined Star Wars, bro. Like. But they're untouchable. You know, that company is hurt. It's not going nowhere, like, regardless. All they got to do is make Minnie Mouse show her little polka dot panties, and it's a fucking wrap. You know, like, it's just, they have too much brand power. And once you have that, you're invincible.
Yeah. And the thing is, too, they're not even going after them. Like, they're not even going after them with this thing. Like, I just think that they're just trying to offer a different form factor for a laptop, and I think Steam actually what they're trying to do here is you know how console gaming has been going to the console games have been going to the PC and stuff. I think this is kind of a way for Steam or like Valve to try to grab some of the console market and maybe pull them into Steam. Like, hey, look at this device. It looks like one of your consoles that you have over there, but you could play our Steam games. Come part of the Steam ecosystem. So when you get a gaming laptop or a gaming desktop, now you have Steam games. So I think it's their way of kind of recruiting from the console market to pull them into PC gaming. If you're afraid of keyboard and mouse, here's something that a form factor on the go that you're familiar with. Like, that's where I think their strategy is, to try to recruit console gamers. Because that's what you said. PC gamers weren't going crazy about this thing. They're thinking about all the ways they could rip this thing open and hack the shit out of it. But a console gamer would be like, "Oh, well, look at this. This looks like a Switch. Like $400 Switch for a $350 Switch or a $400 Steam machine. There's so much potential in the Steam machine, but you're not getting the Nintendo games."
Yeah, definitely. Unless they use emulation, which obviously,
like, I mean, you could though.
Yeah,
do emulation, but that's about it.
You could, yeah. Like, people are like, I'm just gonna sideload all the Steam. I'm like, yeah, okay. So you put the emulator on. First of all, you got to put Windows on. Then you got to get an emulator. Then go look for the RIPs and the ROMs that you got to go find somewhere. Which I'm sure they're pretty, like 30 gigabytes and 40 gigabytes. So go on torrent websites and enjoy all that just to get a couple of games. Like, dude, you know what? Been there, done that stuff. Like, it is neat, but that's not how I want a game. Like, I don't want to be saying, well, what? All right, I'm sharing my servers and torrent websites and download these. Like, come on, where you going with this?
Right.
Like, that is a post-market hacking thing, really cool. You know, the only one I would say when it became commercialized was with the Dreamcast, where you could just rip a disc and put it in the thing and boot up games. Like Dreamcast hacking was ridiculous. You could just bootleg everything on the Dreamcast. Like that's what people bought that thing. But like, you know, nowadays it's neat, but you just can't. That's not a sustainable market, and like this thing's gonna sell millions and just be a hacking device because they will stop it. They will be like, we're losing shit ton of money. Like people buying our stuff to hack it. Like just let it die. You know?
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
And
So
does anybody want to add? Go ahead, Homer.
My bad. What's the point of the Steam machine then? What purpose does it serve?
I think it's to recruit console gamers. That's what it is from them. Like I think it's their way to kind of, because if you look at it, it has a Steam OS that's very simplified. So it's not like the Steam Marketplace. It's their own UI that they developed for this thing. And again, it's on their Linux stuff, the same stuff that they would try to do to Steam machines with. The Steam machine was a way for them to enter into the console market to deter away from like computer and keyboard and mouse and kind of have that Steam picture laid back control. And it works, but again, it's not the essence of Steam. You're just using Steam with a control overlay. They're doing this with this thing. They're trying to make it simplified in the fact that, you know, you could just play your Steam games, your Steam collection on there. But that's what it's for. But again, it's Valve, and they've not done really well with hardware in the past.
Gotcha. Kay and Lamar, you guys want to add anything to it or no?
I essentially, but at the end of the day, it's just, it's not something that I would personally buy for, like, you know, emulating Nintendo
Lamar,
games.
You drunk as hell, right? So I'm just fucking with you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, but I just don't think I just don't like care much for the Steam Deck. It's not something that I would go would like buy, but it looks interesting. Not really a fan of the thumb pads on like the near end of the thing. It's just like weird.
Yeah.
So I'm probably gonna buy it.
Gotcha. What about you, Kay? Before I get into the next topic.
Yeah, no, it's not going to kill the Switch. It's going to be a novelty for a niche group. It's almost more of a thing where like, it's cool. Imagine having, your Steam games on a handheld. Like the thought of it is really cool.
Yes.
Like but at the same time, it's like, how many of these people are going to actually play? Like, how long are they going to actually play on it before they're like, I'm just going to hop back on, my PC, or they already have a laptop and they're like, fuck it, I'm just going to get on the laptop instead. And then how many of these people actually already own a Switch, and they might think, oh yeah, it's cool, I'm going to put emulators on it, but then they're actually going to turn back to their Switch.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And even this thing docked, like if you're like, you can mirror it, you could dock it with a USB-C and stuff like that. The problem is just the same thing the Switch has, is that you're running it off a mobile processor. Like there's no power advantages with the dock. Like there's no external GPUs or anything that it's using to maximize the output. So basically a machine that's dealt with battery life and 720p screens, and that's where the capability of the machine lie. You're going to plug it into like a 144 hertz screen or a 4K machine, and it's like, it'll run on there, but it's not going to look good because, your potential is going to be all throttled and everything. That's why people hate laptop gaming,
right?
Because of the throttling. And I have 2 gaming laptops, and that's how I primarily game. But I do use external GPUs on some of them. But it's always the thermal throttling, and you can imagine what thermal throttling would be on a handheld device that's running a mobile APU. What is that going to be like? And you think you're going to get a good PC experience? Like they have like, look, you can hook up your keyboard and mouse to it and run it off a monitor. Maybe to browse the web. You're not going to be friggin' playing no games in like friggin' 4K or anything like that. Not with that.
Yeah, it's a shiny new toy that people are like, oh, look at it. But then, like, you know, after it comes out, like a year later, no one will be talking about it, really.
That's typical Steam stuff. And then it'll be exactly the homebrew and the hacking market is going to go. You join a Reddit post and you'll see like all the crazy stuff people will do with it.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Man,
That's the exciting part of it. But yeah,
I just saw Sick
Damn.
Humor come in, but I think he backed out. I don't know if he's still working because he said he was doing something. But anyways, I wanted to give a shout out to you, King Thrash, and Sick Humor for beating Fatal's legs in his kneecaps.
oh,
And,
I heard some of that last
dude, you
night.
guys were-
Oh my god.
You guys were beating his legs so bad. I heard supposedly that he went into a coma, and then he had to be walked out of the wheelchair after that podcast. Man, I was like, God damn.
What happened?
Hey, it was karma. It was karma because he's been beating in legs of people in the Discord for like the past week. Him and Tech
Oh, for real?
When-
been beaten in legs, so they so they felt cocky coming onto the show. They're like, we gonna get their ass. It's all good.
Ah, shit.
Yeah, they've been hurting. They've been hurting pony dudes and shit, killing them. So I guess they thought they felt a little bit special.
Oh, they got that confidence going. About what though? Like what? Oh, about what? Like how the hell they gonna beat? What kind of leverage they have it? And I don't know.
Well, no,
I
it was
can't
because there's a lot of gamers, PlayStation gamers included, who like to pretend for some reason that they beat something or played something or whatever. So-
Shame on them.
Oh yeah, there was one guy who said like we mentioned on the show. There was one guy who said he was talking about they were talking about Mortal Kombat, and he said, "Oh, the ice guy, the ice guy, yeah." Like, who doesn't know?
The ice guy. Oh,
Yeah, are you for real?
I'm not gonna lie, man, but Sick Humor, man, that motherfucker was just all on his ass. He didn't even let him breathe, bro. And then he went to a diabetic coma.
And Fatal is his dude to begin with.
Shit.
Oh my god.
Bro, I was watching that show the whole time, and I couldn't even keep a straight face, honestly. Just watching the whole thing, and you guys fucking just jumping on his ass. I was like, fuck, man. Damn, dude, I can't even have my legs beating like that, honestly, man. That shit was crazy. But I get where you guys coming from. But here's the next topic, and this is what I want to talk about. And I hope you guys can pretty much tell me exactly what it is, right?
Before you do so, can we talk about Psychonaut?
We'll talk about that after.
Okay.
What I wanted to talk about, okay, so I remember reading an article not so long ago, I think it was by Does It Play, and it was talking about Xbox and preservation. What the hell exactly were they talking about? Because I'm not really into the politics, I'm just more of a gamer, right? Like I just pop in my disc or I pop in the digital game and then I'm good to go. But what was the backlash that happened with that?
Oh yeah, what's funny is I was reading those articles last night, and I was doing my grinds, my gaming grindhouse, and so Phil doing his interviews was talking about game preservation, and actually I was just doing this, and I had like some people triggered in my chat about it because they're like, anyway, I'll tell you the reason the whole thing was is that Phil
you can speak about it,
was,
you can
dude,
speak about
Phil
people
was
being triggered, right?
marketing. Yeah, people are gonna trigger it. It's so, dude. It's like basically, Phil was saying he cares about game preservation, and and Game Pass allows people to put old games in there, so that games are now like in there. And like old games could go to Game Pass and bring back old games, and this is a great way to bring back old games. Like we were excited, and his example is when Bethesda put old ass games in the system and the Game Pass, and it was wonderful. People were playing these games for the first time, some playing them again. It was enjoying watching people play old games, and Game Pass is a great way for game preservation. So Kotaku went wild and was like, what are you talking about? Game Pass is a rental service. Like there's no ownership or preservation in there. You're basically giving somebody exposure to a game and then you take it away. There's no ownership there. So, like, what are you talking about with game preservation? Because the game is in there. Like Metro Exodus is an example. Like that was in there. People were playing it, and then when they just did the updates for the new Series X and stuff, it's not there anymore. So you gotta go buy it. Digital preservation is more, I would say, akin to like digital ownership. But he's trying to spin Game Pass into being that kind of way of preserving old games. And his aspect, and what I said in my perspective of it, was that he was talking that way as a PR, and he's talking to developers. Like, what he's doing, he is basically the door-to-door Game Pass salesman. And every time he talks, it's about Game Pass, but getting content for Game Pass. He's not always talking to us, the end user. He's talking to publishers. So you might have an Ubisoft sitting there going, we have a bunch of shit games from 10 years ago that people might want to play. You know what? Let's put them in Game Pass, because Phil said, it's working out for some other games. Let's put some old-ass games in Game Pass. And now Phil gets more content for Game Pass, and old-ass games get played again. And that's where his position was. But people took that and were like, you're a rental service. Like, you have you're not really talking about, you're not talking about game preservation, because I don't own the game. There's no ownership there. You determine when and how I play this game, and when you take it away, it's gone from my owner. I don't have any ownership for it. And that was where that whole thing came from.
Not only that, Xbox is the only console that have DRM.
That too. That was the other aspect of it,
Yeah.
the DRM thing.
Wait, hold on. If I could make this clear, they said that if you go offline, you can't play the games, right? Or am I wrong on that?
Yes. Yeah. They have like an offline. Yeah. They have that DRM check that they always was having in there.
Just. Like, okay, so even if it's disc? Like,
Well,
if it's disc, can you
no.
still play it? Or is it just digital?
No, that's the problem. There was a disc.
Yeah.
I think it's the disc too, because it has to go to the server too.
Yeah, even the disc has to be checked, and that's why the doesn't run people is like, we're not doing
Yes.
Xbox anymore.
Yeah,
fucked
because
up.
You basically have to download a digital version of the game in order for it to run.
because of the
Exactly.
toxic website couldn't handle factual information.
Did you say sexual
they-
information?
Yeah, so what happened is
Said yeah.
the company Canatron is a Twitter company. I don't know if it's a Twitter company or not, but it have a Twitter, and they always test games and see if they have DRM or not. And they always care about game preservation and everything like that. And they are genuinely a neutral company. They don't pander to Xbox or PlayStation or any other side. So for a company like that to say, screw you Xbox people, we're done with you, that said a lot. Like, it just shows just how much of a gap between PlayStation ecosystem and Xbox ecosystem. And I'm not talking about their fan base or stuff like that. But mostly what I'm talking about is Microsoft get away with saying lies while doing stuff on the other side that people just don't even pay attention to.
Yeah.
Like, for example, that DRM. PlayStation doesn't have DRM. For example, even with game preservation, PlayStation does that way better than Xbox, but PlayStation doesn't highlight that, which then gives Xbox the chance to gloat about their non-existing game preservation.
Yeah.
And they don't mention DRM, not even one time.
You know, it's kind of crazy how DRM works, man. I mean, like, when we were younger, right? We had our PS1s and PS2s, PS3s. Like, we didn't have to worry about that crap. You know what I'm saying? Like, having to be signed online. It's kind of crazy.
Right.
When
That's
we were
interesting.
younger, we bought a game and it came full.
Yeah.
It didn't come with DLC in day one DLC. It didn't come with patches after patches after patches after patches.
Yeah. I mean, stuff is getting
It's
advanced pretty
where
much
it is,
now.
dude. It's the future where, and I'm gonna say, like, the future is where they everybody's gonna get tabs because not only is it just the DRM, but it's also gaming behavior where they can recommend and all that other stuff. So they're learning also not just with DRM, but like this whole digital aspect is like they're learning our habits. They're learning what we playing, what you're clicking on. So by having that online all the time, they're learning their market and they know what to market to them as well. But like back in the day, you know, we're never gonna be DRM free, you know, especially what's going on, and also too like the whole thing with what they were doing with the back when they did the original Xbox One, you know, the disc has been always just a mechanism of delivery. But when you plug it into the console does do a DRM check on the game, and that's where that whole thing came for Xbox. But again, Phil wasn't going that route with this stuff. He is just trying to get more content for Game Pass because that is all their future is. It is. They're pushing it so hard that, you know, it's almost as hard as they pushed Mixer before they got rid of it. You know, and you know, it's just. This is their lifeblood. Like, this is their future. So
it shows you how Phil not only death threat,
yeah,
but also
it does
doesn't
go that
know
route,
what he's talking about when it comes to, like, you don't shoot yourself in the foot like that. Like, when you, like, this is, like, for example, imagine I'm someone that knows about of stuff like this. And I know if I'm gonna say something like what Phil Spencer said, then people can actually do their homework and expose me. So I'm simply not gonna say stuff like that. This is why key management is key, and Xbox has some of the worst management I have ever seen in a company.
I mean, I still have this theory even to this day where I think that maybe, I guess, Microsoft's getting ready to put their Game Pass on all different platforms. So, you know,
I think eventually that would happen.
Again,
I think eventually that would happen.
What boggles my mind is this. People keep talking Game Pass this, Game Pass that, Game Pass this, Game Pass that. Not one time did they allow the service to sell itself.
Exactly. Yeah,
They
it's
don't.
like constantly having a rep at like a store. Like, you ever see an Apple rep like at a store? No, Apple speaks for itself. Like, they don't need somebody there going, "Hey, have you tried Apple today? Have you tried an Apple today? Have you looked at a MacBook? Have you looked at an iPad today?" No, people come in there looking for an iPad. You don't need a rep kind of saying, "Hey, you know, you're looking at those tablets. Why don't you come over here and check out an iPad? I'm the Apple rep." You don't, and that's where the product sells itself. People come, if you make a great product, people come looking for it. And yeah, people, I want to play it. I want to come in and get, like, you don't need somebody going, "Hey, you ever hear about Game Pass? Come over here, come down here, come over here to the corner. Hey, I got these Game Pass things. You ever try it? You want to try it? $15, 15 days. I'll give you free. Come back tomorrow.
Damn,
I'll give you
bro,
another
sounds like you're selling crack, man. That's pretty good.
No shit, that's what it's like, dude. That's what it's like. It's like, I'll give you a taste. Come back over here. Let me show. That's how it is, because the service should have its own appeal to it, and people should just go to the service and know about it. You could tell somebody about it, but all this kind of forceful kind of having, you know, like Game Pass, it still has yet to prove its potential. And you see it. Like, you look at what's in Game Pass now, and it's like, oh yeah, that's nice, but the potential is there, but they have yet to deliver on that potential. But you're telling me right now that this is the service to beat, and it has yet to show anything from their first party that's going to warrant that this is the service to beat. And even then, we still need to see if these games still have the legs. They're the games that we're expecting them to be. So my whole thing is that you're prematurely giving it the W when it's a neat thing. The potential's there, but it's not the must-have thing right this second, because Xbox has yet to produce those must-have games that you need to. Nonetheless, games that demonstrate the power of the 12 teraflops that you spoke about for 2 years.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, I've been saying for a while, like, PS Now obviously is not as big as Game Pass supposedly. I mean, I don't know if they count their numbers from
subscriber
cheese
count
boxes,
wise, yeah.
you know, but
I'm not gonna name
they're very niche, man, dude. Like subscription services are pretty niche, unless it's like some kind of Netflix or something like that. But
It's a supplemental service. It's not the way to play.
In business, what you see, the reason why I say Game Pass is failing, and I was telling Jeff about this shit in the debate. That
wait, hold on, Thresh, you had a debate with Jeffy?
Yeah. Murder Day.
Bro, you gotta link me to that shit. I want to watch this.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't recorded. It was nothing. It was. I have a debate room in the Roundtable podcast Discord, and it doesn't get recorded. It's only for the people in the Discord. Everybody sits in there. They don't say a word. They let us deliberate. I mean, they let us debate or discuss, and then they tell us what points we had and what we didn't have. You know what I'm saying? After we're done. So it's not even about YouTube or no shit. You know, it's just straight up gaming, straight up pure gaming.
Hey, hold on. Hey, Thresh.
Open. We would love to listen to.
Hold on. Hey, Thresh, did you put him in a coma too or no?
Oh yeah, I broke his legs. I mean, we have a list. We have a list of people, like they make an emoji out of everybody who goes into the debate room and loses. Even Fatal's up there. You know, anybody who goes into the debate room and loses, they get their photo placed so people can know that who won or lost. And no, I destroyed him. I mean, but he was saying the same shit, and I told him, I'm like, streaming services have been out for a long time. He's like, oh, it just barely came out in 2017, 2018. I'm like, streaming has been around with PS Now since 2014, and nobody's grabbing hold of it. No casuals are grabbing hold of it. The only people talking about Game Pass are the hardcore, and like he says, the hardcore is the minority. If a product can't stand on its own two legs after 7 years, then it's not going to stand at all. If you're trying to sell it for $1, you know what I'm saying, while you're spending all this money, you fucking doing $1 entries and shit, and you know it's like for 3 months. I mean, fuck, you want to compare it to Netflix? Netflix will give you 1 month for free, and then after that you paying full price. They're giving you $1 for 3 months or some shit like that. So.
And you're right, Thresh. You're right, Thresh. Because like I've been saying it numerous times, like the hardcore is a minority. I can't stop expressing myself and telling people that these subscription services are very niche. It's like to a small public because like us, you know, we actually play our fucking games. You know what I'm saying? So it's not gonna cater to everybody. Everyone else is playing Call of Duty, Fortnite, Apex Legends. You know what I'm saying? Like the popular stuff. We're the minority in hardcore gaming.
Yeah, but the hardcore early adopters lead the charge for the casuals.
We do.
Know. And that's the thing.
That's where our power is.
Yeah, and they kind of pissed us off because the games that we would get excited about are not in the service yet. They haven't produced those games to say, dude, you gotta check out Game Pass. Look at this awesome game. You get it for this amount of money. You gotta check this out. No, that doesn't exist. It's just like get Game Pass because it's cheap ass gaming. I'm like, no. Hardcore people are not doing that because the games that the hardcore players want, Microsoft has yet to deliver, and they haven't delivered in 3 years on what people wanted, and that's what people are waiting for. That's why they have no time, dude.
Facts. What people gotta understand. Am I breaking up? Is it me?
You sound okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's me. Oh, okay. But now, one thing people gotta realize, a lot of Xbox fans gotta realize, even the hardcore or the quote unquote hardcore, they need to realize that for Game Pass to succeed, Xbox needs to be eliminated, the console. The Xbox has already reached its maximum potential of what it's going to get. Game Pass started there, and it's not going to finish there. In fact, they're trying to get out of there, if you haven't noticed. Right now, the point of the Xbox, the reason to even get an Xbox or own an Xbox is consistently being reduced. All games available elsewhere. Games play better elsewhere. Game Pass elsewhere. Exclusives launching elsewhere. Made by Xbox. You know what I'm saying? It's just now the only reason to have this console. They haven't grown their console at all. The only reason to have it is because is if you have friends there or Xbox Live. So if they were to have you transfer to a cell phone, transfer to a Steam, box or whatever the fuck, anything, no matter what, as long as they're using their product, they feel like it's a W. There's less and less reasons to buy an Xbox. You know what I'm saying?
And that's
There's more reasons to buy Game Pass than an Xbox.
And that's the thing too. I mean, like I keep telling people, I mean, the only thing you really need is PC, Nintendo, and PlayStation. You're good to go. You know what I mean?
That's it.
You
Good to
know?
go.
Yeah.
Don't need nothing else.
They devalue their own platform.
Exactly.
Remember
Yeah,
when
exactly.
Microsoft said, we don't need to launch we don't need to launch exclusive games with our next generation console. Like, and console sales don't matter, yet they are now gloating over MPD win. Like, Xbox.
That's just the Xbox hardcore. That's gonna do that.
You know
Or
what's
the
the
Xbox
craziest
fanboy.
about this? When I play a game, and this is just, I don't know if it's just me, I'm built different, or this is just how much of a push Game Pass is needed for them. Like and we both are playing the same game. I'm not gonna name who he is on Twitter. And when I played the game, which is Motor Phoenix Rising, I'm like, okay, cool, I'm enjoying it. Some stuff can be better, some stuff can be less, and I'm enjoying my time. All I see is him talking. Yeah, I'm playing Immortal Phoenix Rising. This game is a perfect game for Game Pass. I'm like, what? So you're not gonna talk about story. You're not gonna talk about gameplay. You're not gonna talk about visual, how it's running, what the game is. No, just it's a game and it should be on Game Pass.
Have you watched Daydreams? Not to be pushing my own shit, but Omar, have you watched that?
No.
that-
Promote that shit.
Yeah.
Promote that shit. I like
That was
it.
really good, man.
Hey, I don't like to do that shit. Man. I like it to stand on its own legs. You know.
Nah.
I
Promote
wanna
that
be
shit.
like
You know what?
Game
Hey, bro, I'm gonna fucking put that in. I'm gonna change the whole edit thing on the channel because obviously it says fucking test. My fucking dumbass. I'm still new to this shit, but
I just retweeted. I was like, "This is not a test."
hey, but I'll definitely put a link in the description for that because it was really good. I liked it honestly because of the whole journalism stuff.
Yeah.
And then the shit that happened to me. I don't know if you guys remember. Well, Thrash
Yeah.
was. I talked to
Yeah.
with Thrash and stuff like that when people were like trying to beat my legs in because of that whole Game Pass thing. What was it like? People started making tweets about what was it like $1 a day you can get Game Pass for like 3
Yeah,
months or some shit
yeah.
bullshit like
Oh,
that.
that
They
thing.
basically-
Oh, yeah. That's
they were
how it was
basically
you,
trying to
man.
sell, yeah.
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 Yeah, Jez. I don't know
But
if
you
you're
seen all
familiar,
those-
but
I remember that. The Dustin Ligurian made a whole day of it.
no, hey, but hey, Dustin.
Yeah.
But the thing
good
is
buddy.
that the whole thing started
Dustin,
because
whatever
of
his
me,
name
bro.
is.
He's a
I know.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I remember that. And then Destin like responded to yours, and he like, "I'll tell you what's really bad, $1 a day." And I'm like,
Yeah.
it's funny in the aspect of it, but the problem is that it's a mockery of what they're actually doing every day on goddamn Twitter.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
you're making fun of it and mocking it, but you want to know what? That's how you fucking sound. And
Yeah.
and you know what? That's the problem. There is that you're forcing this stuff. And then the next tweet's like, "Hey, look at the care package that Microsoft sent me." It's like, do you realize your credibility is being manipulated here? Like, if you're gonna show a picture, because you have to disclaim that you got something from them, you got to show it, because you can't just be marketing this stuff on your channel and be like, "Hey, you got to say you got it for free." But do you realize by doing that? Like Destin and other like people like that, it's like even Paris and stuff. Do you really think that somebody's going to take your criticism of a PlayStation seriously or of a Switch seriously when they see what your association is with? You're just so like you lose a lot of your argument.
Yeah.
Like you can't be considered a neutral when you're showing the stuff. You got to realize what you're doing. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, he neutral.
like he.
Hey, look, hold on.
yeah, he's
Hold on,
neutral,
hold on.
right?
Have you, Jazz? You haven't seen it either, have you?
No, I did. I watched it.
Oh, you are.
Yeah.
Now look, that's why it's okay for him to do it, because he's
Yes.
not in his instance, and a lot of these people's instances, what they're doing now is considering themselves influencers. And
Yes.
influencer, they don't need to fucking say, "I got this
Micro
from here,
influencer.
I
What do you
got
say?
that
The
from
micro
there."
one?
Yeah.
What are they called? Yeah.
Yeah. Micro. There's a lot of them. Micro, macro,
Yeah.
celebrity, normal. and they're micros, right? Or he's probably a macro now because I think after 10,000, you're like considered a macro.
Mm-hmm.
But the difference is that you don't have to report to the FCC that you're doing this for gifts. It's just like that lady said. The lady said her friend was drinking water, had water bottles. She loved the water bottle. The company said, hey, let me give you some more water bottles. That's not saying I'm going to pay you to say it, but I'm giving them to you so you can keep saying it but without saying that. And then therefore you don't have to report that.
Hey,
so that's what's happening. Like they're just receiving shit
like
without a deal.
Secret sellers, secret shoppers. You have secret sellers. Like, hey, go to that group circle over there and tell them that you really like something. And I've done it myself because I worked, back in the day at Circuit City, and I was like Alt Electronics. So like within my group, I'm the person that people come to say, hey, what is the new tech? Like, what should I get? Should I get this computer? Should I get this one? And it's like, whatever they're going to trust my recommendation. Now, I'm not paid off by anybody. I'm just giving my general opinion on from what I experienced because I have, perfect example, headphones. I buy every friggin' headphone that I could get, and I could give you a legitimate kind of comparison of what I think is a good headphone. So if somebody's like, hey, I want some Bluetooth headphones, what should I get? And I had this situation. I was walking around the store, and the dude was looking at the same stuff that I was looking at, and he's like, well, why are you getting those, man? And I'm like, oh, because of this, this, and this, and this. He's like, oh, you know what? I'm going to get one of those too because I didn't know what I was going to get today. Boom. There you go. I just sold that to that person, not intentionally, but just I did my research because I always do my research before I buy something. A lot of people don't.
You know what's funny about that whole thing, though? The whole thing about it is that I didn't even mention journalists, but somehow it came out to be a journalist thing, that journalists were supposedly being paid to pay off Game Pass, right? And so one of my friends asked me, she's like, do they have articles on you? I'm like, I don't know, I'm gonna check. And then I saw that it was trending. Kotaku did articles like on Destin saying that fucking journalists were being paid. And I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't say that shit. Man, it was crazy as fuck, bro.
Are you talking about that time the journalists attacked you?
Yeah.
You know what's the problem?
That's how they manipulate it. They're gonna manipulate it that way. You know what I'm saying? To make it seem they can bend the truth to however they want the truth to be looking. I mean, these are journalists that you're dealing with, right? IGN is supposed to be a reputable journal type writer, but they're not really media writers. But to me, they're just a website, right? That talk about gaming. That's all they are.
Mm-hmm.
But that line is so blurred that you got journalists pretending to be influencers, and now they're all talking about whatever they can get free shit with.
Dude, look at what Jeff Grubb turned into. Like when he was all turning into people on Twitter, like being so like how he was acting and stuff, and he made that sexist comment and stuff, and I'm like, you work for VentureBeat, like how do you come down to the Twitter bullshit and think that you're going to hold any credibility as a journalist and stuff? And now you're basically like the lifeblood of all Xbox fans because all your rumors and speculation are basically carrots to get Xbox fans excited because there's nothing right now. And now we talk about media bias, but you got people in plain day like Xbox fans, Xbox related news that are media journalists supposedly that represent companies. And before it was just like the media hates Xbox, media bias. And it's like this media bias right now is blatant. Like these dudes are like, I'm Xbox, like this, and they're like, do have these pro Xbox channels, and then they're giving rumors and feeding that shit. And the thing is that I was like, you work for a reputable, like, how can I take anything anybody could take knowing what you're doing, take it at you as your opinion matters now. Your opinion is skewed. So how can you have a valid point? And you're supposed to be looking at both sides of the story. You can't just be like, Game Pass is awesome, but this sucks. Well, why does it suck? Oh, just because it's not Game Pass. No, you're supposed to look at both sides of the story and create a conversation and create people a discourse. That's what a journalist does. The journalist doesn't just say, like, this is better than this. That's a reviewer, and you got to give facts of why something is better.
But not only that.
You got to deal in facts, not truth. Like in the beginning of Daydreams, where he breaks down the 5 rules you got to do. Those 5 rules are what you're supposed to do to be considered a proper journalist. And if you break those rules, then what are you doing? And every journalist I showed broke those rules as I showed them. You know what I mean? Like, it's just they're trying to get away from that.
People are okay giving journalists a pass because of fanboyism. as long journalists are pushing their narrative, like, for example, when you compare how many articles are written by journalists about Game Pass, when a game come to Game Pass, when a game leave Game Pass, versus how many when it's on PlayStation Now, it's like literally 10 percentage, something like shit like that. Like, that's how much difference. Not only that, you have now journalists admitting they don't finish games. They review games on easy. There is a huge, and I genuinely mean huge, disconnect between us, the hardcore gamers, and these quote-unquote journalists.
Well, you watch a lot of them have kind of, and Destin is a perfect example of one that kind of had an Xbox show with Ryan McCaffrey. Like, they did their stuff, but now he's just kind of evolved into his own channel, and kind of by getting into the fan stuff and getting right into the kind of like the quirkiness and all this other stuff that comes with it. And even his articles, like I don't know if it was King, I don't know who did it, but somebody was saying, like, if you look at his article, like his videos, like when he was talking about Destiny 2, it was you, right? Yeah. When you when he hit that thing where he did some sort of like Game Pass is the best, he hit like 30,000 and that's it. Yeah, King's doing it. I knew somebody that. I was like, King spotted on that.
I did that shit.
It's literally.
It's gonna be even more prominent in episode 2, to where it's gonna be like I showed that with almost all of them. Even like Cole Eastwood and everybody else, Crap Gamer. I mean, people once they see they can go to Xbox, and if you talk good about Xbox and you see that jump, that's where your aim is. Yes. So when I saw Destin's aim is no longer about what he wanted on YouTube. It's more about what will get him money or what will get him notoriety.
Or get him the most traction.
It's no longer about him or what he wants to do. It's about what he feels he wants to do to get more views and subscriptions, whatever.
It's like, talk about Xbox, bet. Essentially.
Bet. But it's two things going on. It's talk good about Xbox Game Pass, or bad about PlayStation. Why you're leaving PlayStation? I don't know if you notice how many people said they were leaving PlayStation.
How?
You can look at the views and see. Yeah, exactly. That's why people want to watch it, because automatically, like, what's the problem now? Like, one guy said, "Oh, it's because the games, they don't have that many games, so I went to Xbox Game Pass."
I'm like, you on drugs?
You're making sense. I'm like,
one of them even said that. One of them even said that they're leaving PlayStation because of how the PS4, the PS5 transfer save data is on PlayStation. It was like, oh, it's easy on Xbox type shit.
Damn.
Yeah, that's it. It's just sad to watch gaming go the way it's going. We're giving they're giving props to the company that literally wants gaming to die as it is, and to become more of a business savvy instead of less of an art type thing going. Like less of an experience and more of what can we do to cheaply make money. Cheapishly.
You're right, King, and make them make money at the sacrifice of my experience. That's the problem I have. Like, it has become cooler now to say, well, it's great for business. I don't care what it is for business. I care about my experience.
For me as a gamer.
Yeah, what's good for me as an end user, as a consumer? Like, that is where we should be focusing. Not like, hey, it's great for them, that they do it. Like, it's for them putting their games everywhere. That's great. And it's just like, that's great to some extent. But if you look at what's happening by them putting their games everywhere, does it really add longevity to those games, or are those games compromised because that they're everywhere and not on a focused device? We got to look at that, and that's where my concern comes with this whole model, is that Microsoft is totally diluted. And you look, games are coming in hotter than they ever have. Because that flexibility of having a Game Pass, but games are now on every device possible. Now, is the game not focused for? You're trying to sell me a 12 teraflop closed system, but tell me the game is everywhere. Well, are you maximizing the potential of that console? And people make fun of when Sony does it. Oh, well, the PS5 features, what do you mean? Dual sense and surround sound. Dude, that is what the PS5 is offering for a next generation experience. That is part of the PlayStation 5. Destin was running wild going, DualSense support is paywalled. Paywalled? That's the PS5 version of the game, dude. Like, that's a feature of the PS5.
He said it was paywalled for the DualSense?
Yes.
Yeah,
Because the $10 was a paywall to use PS5 features.
Think about that Ghost of
It's the
Tsushima, how the
PS5 version, you
DLC.
stupid ass.
Brain dead folk.
They're
That's all I
idiots.
Yeah, they were saying that $10 is a paywall. Like, what?
No, yeah, because
Genuinely-
they're confusing backwards compatibility with a full next gen game. Like, you know, like your game is capable of being played as a PS4 Pro enhanced game, or it gets the PS5 features, the activity cards, the tactile feedback, the 3D audio, the stuff that's part of a PS5 console. Those features.
Dude,
But
they
not created a paywall.
They don't have even a next gen console, so they don't even know.
You don't have a
what-
next gen game, exactly. There's no Series X game. Like there
It's
isn't.
not like you can use the DualSense on the PS4.
No, you can't.
Exactly. So it's not a paywall.
Game help features, yes, exactly.
It's like saying
features.
Game Pass is a paywall. That's like saying Game Pass
Exactly.
is a paywall
Yeah.
for the backwards compatible games you already own. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Say that.
Like the paywall shit is ridiculous. Like I think people got to stop with that stuff because Xbox Live became popular because of paywalls and Netflix and all that other stuff because that added value to the service. The thing is like people are confusing backwards compatibility and Xbox enhanced backwards compatibility with a true next gen version of a game. And that's where when they said generations, it wasn't just resolution and frame rate. It was all the features of the UI, the activities, the controller, the utilization of the sound. All those things are part of the next gen experience and they're part of the next gen console. And that is an upgrade fee to get the PlayStation 5 version of the game because you're playing a backwards compatible version of the game. See, the backwards compatibility of this generation confused a lot of people. Last gen, when we had an Xbox 360 to an Xbox One, some publishers let you get that upgrade, for $10, like Call of Duty Ghosts or something like that. You could pay and get the Xbox One version of the game. But guess what? If you bought a 360 version of a game and then Xbox One version came out, if there was no upgrade path, you had to buy that game again to get the Xbox One version. So this is similar here, but we got backwards compatibility and Microsoft finessing everybody with their friggin' enhancements and fucking tramp stamps that they got on all their smart delivery, fucking assholes, and all this shit that they got stamped on this fucking shit. No, the smart deliveries, the velocity architecture, Matt Booty's ass, all this the tramp stamps all over the goddamn games. They are just taking the same product and selling it 5 different ways, and that's what they're doing. They're basically giving you chicken fingers and taking those chicken fingers and giving you chicken parmesan, chicken nuggets, chicken franchise with the same fucking chicken finger.
Damn.
That's what they're doing.
Yo, Jez, man, like sometimes I feel like, you got neck veins popping out, but you didn't break a sweat. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, you going savage as fuck.
Hey, just see it like this. Now that their leader have praised the DualSense, watch them fall in line.
Oh, they got to sell you an Elite 3 controller.
Praising the DualSense features, like.
Watch them create the Elite controller
Hey,
4
give me one sec.
or something like
I'm
that.
just gonna take my dog out real quick. Give me one sec, cause she's whining. Give me one sec. She's old. Go ahead, dog. Go ahead. You hear me, Caraba?
Watch them sell the Elite controller 4 or stuff like that with the DualSense in it for 200, 300, and people are gonna buy it. Hey,
Yeah, well, people bought it, but I think that they're losing more of those people who buy shit like that. Right now, they're starting to make this culture of everything needs to be cheaper, and it's so bad that like for Xbox fans are like saying that this the whole $70 thing, like, oh, it's too expensive and yada yada yada, and at the same time they want to buy a $200 controller that still needs batteries. There's it's just becoming so discombobulated as far as a culture that Xbox fans no longer know what they want anymore. You know what I mean? They don't know. Do you want games?
They want games,
Do you not
controllers,
want- Yeah, it's
devices, like.
Phil Spencer. Like they just want.
Yeah, Phil. Oh my God, they love him.
I mean, it's crazy.
Well, if you look at too, like even and just what the rest was saying, you look at even the game that came out today. What is that indie game that everybody that's getting good?
Oh yeah, at Death Door. They are complaining that it's not on Game Pass.
Exactly.
Even though it's just $15.
$15. Some people are like, I'm gonna wait for the Game Pass, and there's a lot of questions going. It's a great game. It's getting 80s and 90s. Like it's just
got
a great indie
80
game. Only on
hits
Xbox
on
and
Meta.
PC. It's only on Xbox, so it's a console exclusive. You think that's enough? And this is where I always say, I'm like, it's not I said this before E3. I'm like, if it's just a great game now, it's not enough. It needs to be a great game in Game Pass.
Game Pass, day one.
And that's the problem.
Day one.
Exactly.
Keyword.
Because that will make them be able to sell Game Pass. And the problem is that a great game not in Game Pass just shows that Game Pass really is for the one-offs and a bunch of old bullshit and just like mediocre shit. And they don't like that. That's why they want these 90 Metacritic games launching in Game Pass, because guess what? They're not. And that's where everybody's like questioning it. Not that it's a great game, go play it. It's an Xbox exclusive. Woohoo! We get to play it. Sony don't have it. Let's do this. Instead, it's like, Game Pass.
It's on Game
The
Pass.
exclusive part. It needs me to feel like it's free. You know what I mean?
It has to be in Game Pass, no matter how much. $15. People, it's not like it's $60. Meanwhile, they'll champion the shit out of Psychonauts 2 at $60 because it's in Game Pass.
Yeah. Real shit.
I will always go back to when Phil Spencer made that blunder. I don't know if it's a blunder or a fuck up or it was true. But back when Remedy had Control at the Game of the Year, and he said, and back then they literally had Control for $20. And I saw a tweet from somebody saying, okay, Control on Amazon for $20. I'm excited for this game. That's a good price. I'm gonna get it. And then Phil Spencer made that tweet. And it was like, yeah, since it's coming to Game Pass, I'm gonna hold on buying it. $20, And then Phil Spencer had to backtrack because it was not true. It's not gonna come to Game Pass. And still, that person was like, even though it's not coming to Game Pass, I'm still gonna wait for it. $20 is too much for Control. Like, this is the type of gamers that want Game Pass.
I don't even know what it is, dude. Like, I don't even know what. Even to with Cyberpunk, right? Cyberpunk with what's his name? The Jeff Grubb was like, "Hey, Cyberpunk's coming to Game Pass," and then they came out like, "We're not going to Game Pass."
Even Scarlet Nexus. He did the same with Scarlet Nexus.
Yeah, Scarlet Nexus, same thing. Yeah.
They literally needed a small tweet to let people know. No, it's not coming to Game Pass. My bad, King Thrash, for breaking you.
No, you're good. You're good. No, you're good.
Damn, he said, my bad, King Thrash, for breaking you. God damn,
I said for cutting you off, man. I made a mistake. Sue me.
Go ahead.
I mean, it's when it comes to that shit, I mean, they're trying to push it as best they can, and people are trying to guess as best they can. At the end of the day, the majority of gamers on Xbox don't have Game Pass, and that should already let you know how much of an influence it truly is doing.
If Xbox fans ain't using it, then
yeah,
it's
that 23 million. That 23 million that they say, right? That's the last thing that they said, and it wasn't even confirmed by Microsoft. But 23 million is the word they're saying. That's non-concurrent. That's including cell phones and PC. Last I checked, the Xbox Series and Xbox One had 50 million buyers, right? And there's 100 and something concurrent Xbox Live players. So only 18 million or 20 something million out of all of that on all platforms are going for Game Pass. Meanwhile, Disney Plus is already at 100 million subscribers. So it's just going to show that this shit is not working, and I don't think it ever will work. I don't think it ever will work. I don't think that it's not even the games that's the problem. It's the brand.
It's the growing of it. The problem is, Thrash, is that the thing is they think this thing's going to grow without the content. And that's why we're already in July. We're going into August now. And the last numbers they updated were 18 million. If they come back and they go, hey, we're at 25 million, we're at 30 million, you got to look at the rate of growth there. Like, and I always say this, like, what is Satya's number for Game Pass? Because it wasn't the good number for Mixer. Mixer was hanging in there, but Mixer wasn't growing at the rate that they wanted it to grow, so they nixed it. So Game Pass needs to hit a certain amount of subscribers before they think this thing is going to be worthwhile. Even Jeff Grubb, with the bullshit he says, he's like, they got to be at 50, 60 million before they get rid of Xbox Live Gold. How long are they going to wait? Microsoft has a trend, just like with Steam and Valve. I said, you look at their history. If things don't go their way, they are quick to pivot and to cancel. And look at this. Yeah. The Windows 10 store was the shit. That was where one store to rule them all, right? Nobody was going to the Windows 10 store. And guess what happened? No. They had to put their games on Steam. Yeah. And know what's going to happen now? And look, that's where they got success, because nobody wanted to go to Windows 10 store. So now that Windows 10 store is just like the Game Pass graveyard. Like, if you get Game Pass, that's where you get it from. So, the thing is that they're running it. Instead of delivering just the games and having this thing evolve and turn into something bigger what it is, they're trying to put the cart before the horse and telling you, trust me, dude, trust me. Here's some icons. Here's some logos. Perfect Dark. Yeah, we're making that. Here's Fable. We're making that. Here's Avowed. We're making that. Oh, before Avowed, even we show more of Avowed. Let's tell you the other game that they're working on, Outer Worlds 2. It's like, well, like, what are you doing? You're just basically spamming all this gaming news out there for the next 5 years to a decade, and you have no gameplay of anything you announced 2 years ago. We still are scratching our heads to say what Halo Infinite is after a year delay. We're still like, dude, what does that campaign look like, man?
They have yet to show gameplay They have yet to show uncut 10-minute demo gameplay for Halo fucking Infinite.
Exactly. And it was delayed a year.
How with this?
And it has no release.
Imagine if PlayStation did that with Horizon Zero Dawn, Horizon Forbidden West. I would be writing.
I would be scratching my head going, there's something up with this.
There's something wrong with it for sure. Then again, John Lemon from Digital Foundry told me himself that the reason why they haven't done a proper resolution frame rate check on Halo Infinite is because that's the only game Microsoft will not send them the raw footage for. They sent it to them for fucking Forza and all that. And for some reason they will not. We've asked multiple times, and they have not sent us the raw footage for us to do our analysis with.
Dude, that's fucked up.
They would be destroyed by it.
Xbox had a crazy, amazing E3, like Xbox One NPD. Let's celebrate, and it's like, where is? There's no Halo Infinite beta. What's interesting is when Halo 5 came out, we played the beta in February and March for the game releasing in November. We have yet to see a beta in this thing. We're going into August in another week, and we still don't have a release date for a game of Halo Infinite that was delayed a year and doing this. And you want to know why? And I'm sorry to say, but this is what Game Pass creates. There's no urgency from Microsoft to sell you Halo Infinite. They don't need to sell you anything because they already got your bitch-ass money. Because you're subscribing to Game Pass. They don't have to sell you anything. Sony has to come out there and show you the shit because they got to sell you a product. Microsoft don't sell you shit. They got to sell you the service. Go, hey, they're going to come out with Halo. Go, hey, not only is Halo there.
Get excited about it. Doesn't matter what it is.
not only Halo's in there, but guess what? We got Forza there too, and we got a bunch of bitch ass shit too. Scorn is coming, and it's just a bunch of like just a bunch of shit. Here it is. Here shit. Manja. Shit. Eat.
Oh shit! God damn.
That's it, man.
Again,
Eat up all the shit.
how late, how far are they behind with Halo Infinite to not even show 10 minutes of gameplay?
They're not behind. They don't want to be embarrassed. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Look at Crackdown. Remember Crackdown? Crackdown was supposed to have a beta. They announced the beta the day they showed that fucking shit blowing up and shit that they was supposed to be a beta. They never came out with a beta. No, they came out with a beta like a month before the game came out or some shit like that.
I mean, you're
So
right,
it's
Rash. Like, honestly, when you really think about it, like, I mean, Craig from Halo Infinite. I mean, that was the biggest meme in gaming. You know what I'm saying? It was fucking crazy how that shit turned out.
And they need to correct that, and they didn't.
I think what the genuinely ice cream on this shit Sunday is this. Look what Phil Spencer said. Halo Infinite is not going to make or break the Halo franchise. Like, when you put out a statement like this, it's over.
Because he got your money already. He don't care how much it sells. They got your money. That's
It's
the.
not about selling.
You can't even vote with your wallet.
How much of a quality the game is. He doesn't even seem to care. He literally said it's not gonna make or break the Halo franchise. Like, if PlayStation came out with this statement for Horizon Forbidden West, for God of War, I would be asking, no, fuck you doing out here?
Yeah, and you forget what else he said too. He was just like, "Oh, people are not gonna like it. We're ready for that feedback." Like,
Yeah, I
he's
see that,
damage
yeah.
controlling that. People are not gonna like this. Like, how do you do that with your premier franchise game? Like, this is the thing that Xbox built. This is the game that built Xbox. When Halo's coming out, everything needs to stop, and you got to make Halo the shit. And you're just being like, well, people are not going to like it, but we're okay with that. That's what happens in the entertainment business. Not everybody likes what we're doing, but how do you talk like that? Like, I just don't understand how he is so celebrated because he's just a nice guy and not for the product that he is producing for the user. That's the thing. I don't understand it.
Because people are suckers.
I
Again,
don't understand
the writing is on the wall. And my bad for keep talking, but it just blows my mind when they showed Forza gameplay. Like, everyone was impressed. And
Yes.
you can clearly see Microsoft is confident as fuck with Forza. They showed us how much? 10 minutes or something?
The only franchise they're confident about.
Gameplay? Like, genuine gameplay. Yet, Halo Infinite, arguably, well, it's not anymore, your biggest franchise, your flagship title. You don't have any gameplay for it.
And here's the thing that bothers me. Like, okay, so apparently it was supposed to be like 500 million budget, you know what I mean? And it looks like that with Craig. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, if you're spending 500 million,
so the 500 million is for the for the new
Which the engine doesn't work.
oh, okay.
No, I
gotcha.
think it's for the I think it's for the multiplayer, and the budget that they can go for 10 years is 500 million.
It's all those brunches that they get. That's what all those brunches that they
Oh yeah, bro, shit.
So
They gotta buy
basically,
mimosas and shit.
so basically, you're gonna do the same thing they did with Destiny, right? Where Destiny was supposed to survive for like 10 years, accordingly, supposedly, right?
Wow.
Supposedly, it did.
The problem
I think it
is
lasted,
that
what, 3 years?
that's
4
another
years,
that's
4 year
another
mark.
thing too. Like when they come out and go, this is part of a trilogy. Remember that worked with like what they try to do that with what was it? Shit, that Silicon Knights game when they're like, this is part of a trilogy, and it never even came out after the first game. The Microsoft that was done with it. I understand the ambition, and with them coming out now before this game is even released and delayed a year, going it's a 10-year project. That's a problem because now I know that what I'm going to get on day one is not going to be fully realized. It's not. It's not. It's going to be.
You're gonna be a beta tester.
you wait for this, and now you're gonna wait some more. You're gonna open up the multiplayer, and you're gonna be like, wait, 2 game modes and 5 maps. Yeah, don't worry, more maps are coming in the May update and stuff like that. And it's like, you're gonna drip feed this shit to me. And same thing goes with the campaign. Day 1 guns, well, the classic rifle and the classic pistol not on in there, but because it's a service-based game, we're gonna add it later on. We're gonna figure out where's a good place to add it. What? This is a campaign. What are you talking about? Adding guns to a campaign? What is that? What are you doing? And even looking
it's a Destiny-like campaign. What is it going to be? I'm telling you, they're going to have the Call of Duty-like free-to-play, Fortnite-like free-to-play, and the campaign is going to be just like Destiny, to where you're not going to fucking beat the game. You're going to fucking beat a chapter and then wait for that other chapter for $39.99 or free.
If you have Game Pass.
For free on Game Pass. So
exactly.
It's going to be that. But the main problem with this shit is that it's not gonna never, like, the developers who made this game are making it blindfolded. First time making a Halo that's semi-open world like this. First time on this brand new slip space engine that they just fucking built. First time doing free to play online multiplayer modes. And it's so many first times. They gotta make all these fucking different custom fucking suits and armors and do balancing, and it's so much new going on.
Plus, they gotta add it to the Xbox One, the Series X, the S,
Series X,
the PC,
all the PCs,
yeah, all that. Xbox original, Xbox One X, Xbox One S are 3 different SKUs that have 3 different ways of being played. 2 of them have a Blu-ray disc, 1 of them don't. Ultra Blu-ray disc, 1 of them fucking don't. Then the Xbox Series X has, Xbox One X has 6 teraflops of power, better shit in it. The S doesn't have the SRAM, but the original does. Fuck, there's just so much shit that has to be fucking looked at. It's almost impossible. It's even amazing that we've even seen this game running on a fucking PC. Because they ain't been showing it running on a fucking Series X, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah,
Hey, by the way,
thing.
By the way, Omar, before you go, shout out to Social Destruct and my guy Umar. But Social Destruct ended up saying, look at how much Sony has done early in the PS5's life cycle. Sony will be far ahead of the game. Xbox will warp when I said all is done. It makes sense. They're pretty much ahead. We got a console exclusives just to the PS5 only, you know what I mean? We got Ratchet and Clank, we got Returnal, there's other games coming out, but
and PS5 additions to the great games that they made last year. See, the other thing, 2 things people complain about the Ghost of Tsushima and the Death Stranding and stuff, but like especially Ghost, like that was an incredible game for when it released, and it was at the end of a generation, so. Why don't you make a next gen version of the game and then add content to it? So, like, in addition to doing that, they have like the great games of last generation that they're bringing to this generation, in addition to bringing new games and bringing indies and all that other stuff. Like and then on top of that, they still got the VR that we have yet to see for next year on that stuff. Whereas that's in the first 6 months of this PlayStation's life cycle, which is incredible because it took them a while on the PS4 to really get their stride for that stuff. Like they did some good games there, but they had some challenges and stuff where Xbox was doing better, had games and stuff like that in the beginning. But then in 2016, Xbox just shit the bed, and that's when Sony was beginning to flip the script and just showing all these high quality, and now they're focusing on this high quality, and they brought it right into the PS5 because last year when Sony was quiet, everybody's like, oh, Sony don't have anything, and meanwhile look at what we got up until month 7. Jesus. And we just heard about it too. See, that's the other thing too. I'm gonna say, like, what Sony's been doing, that's why when they say Sony's quiet, Sony's only showing you with like the 3 to 6 month window. Microsoft just opened up they have such a long road ahead of them because they just opened up the next 5 years of gaming, and they're gonna have to try to keep that hype for Avowed, keep that, and if they don't mention those games, like Hellblade 2 years ago they announced that Hellblade 2 yet to show anything about it. Microsoft now has a whole bunch of stuff to follow up with because they basically showed the roadmap for the next 5, 6, not even roadmap, but what they're working on for the next decade.
And here's the thing,
the whole generation.
This generation, right?
Exactly, okay. A lot of these games, not going to come out until next gen. If Xbox actually has another gen, I don't think that the Series X is going to have another gen. I don't think it's going. I think this is it. To where they showed them games that this far out, but they're not going to make another console. What they're going to do is they're going to start clouding games, just like on the Xbox One they announced for the Xbox One and them, and all the way up to the X. They will future games will be cloud streamed from them. And the same thing is going to happen to the Series X when technology goes up, and they're going to just start running everything from a fucking PC and streaming that shit the fuck out.
Yeah.
Your console can't handle it? Fine. You still have the console, so you don't have to buy a new console. That's going to be the new argument. Ooh, Sony is charging you for a new console. Just you watch. Oh my God, they charge you $600 for a new console. We're streaming over here. What are you talking about?
Yeah, we're streaming next gen games on the One X.
Hey, by the way, Kate, did you have something to say? I thought I heard.
Oh
you
no,
say something.
you. Oh no, I was just saying when we were talking about the games that they showed. They pretty much just showed their whole generation.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's
next
an
generation.
interesting point that Jez brought up, and I was just thinking about it. You know, I mean, I was trying to talk about it. I didn't think it was worth talking about it, but obviously, it seems to me like people are disappointed that PlayStation is not going to E3. Like they just have their own shit.
Oh, Gamescom, you mean?
Just in
Gamescom?
general, E3,
Yeah.
E3. Yeah, but I mean, obviously, does PlayStation really need E3, or does E3 need PlayStation? And I'm pretty sure we've covered this a while back. I mean, I don't think it's worth the discussion, you know. So, you know, I'm just gonna leave it at that. But my dude Omar,
E3 is dead, bro.
yeah, definitely.
E3 was horrible this year. It was off.
It's not worth it anymore. It's just not. I mean, E3's purpose was to get the word out to the masses about what games are coming in the future. That's what the whole purpose of it was. There was no internet back then. There was no forums and none of that. It was just, you know, it was like companies coming out to E3 and meeting up with the media to show off what they have, so the media can then tell us what's coming up in the future. They can write an article about it, tell us what they saw, tell us all, you know, show pictures, all of that shit. Now, fuck, you can just do it from your fucking garage. You know, you can just fucking literally do it from your garage. So
it's kind of weird, bro. It's kind of weird how it is now, because like PlayStation, they don't have to involve themselves in it. It's almost like they put themselves in like a separate space. You know what I mean? They're like, you guys are cool, but you know, we're the gods over here. You know, it's crazy.
E3 is literally dead. How people literally complained about this E3, how dead it was, how bad it was. All I need to name two companies: Capcom event and fucking Square Enix E3. Both of them.
They'll be leaving soon. They'll be leaving soon too. What?
The best thing that came out of E3 was freaking Forza Horizon 8.
Yeah, the Forza Horizon.
Fuck that.
If that's the best thing that came out of E3, dude.
Yeah, fuck that. That Zelda gameplay and fucking Metroid, nigga, was it for me? I was loving that.
Yeah, the Zelda game. Yeah, Metroid was pretty cool.
Yeah, Forza was cool, but it looked just like Forza 4 to me. You know what I'm saying? It just does.
But for next gen, like this was the E3 for the new generation of consoles, and it felt horrible. Like there was nothing even from anybody to show what can I do with my new box. Nothing.
Like you
it didn't feel next gen at all. It just felt like a redo for the last gen.
Yeah, it felt horrible. I'm like, what is this? This is the E3. This is when everybody's supposed to be like, we got brand new hardware. Here's all the stuff we're working on for this new generation. And there was nothing.
You can clearly see. You can clearly see developers were not ready for E3. Like you can genuinely see they were not ready, and they had to force themselves.
They only showed one game.
To put something out on them and call it a day. Like this is why I'm so glad PlayStation is not doing E3 anymore. Cause one, all they need is one tweet and they break the internet. Like just one tweet.
They show gameplay of God of War tomorrow. Internet's broken.
Yeah, like literally tune in to this Thursday State of Play for the showcase of the next God of War. It's over.
Bro,
even they showed Last of Us Actions or something like that. Like, yeah.
Bro, they fucking showed the font for PS5 and blew the internet up. You know what I'm saying? Just the font. We knew it was the same exact fucking font as the PS4. And they still fucking showed that shit. and the internet blew up. Like it just PlayStation knows what they're doing. They know they are kings right now, and they're gonna try to maintain that kingmanship. And making the Game Pass competitor isn't kingmanship. I keep telling these motherfuckers, Sony doesn't need to compete with Microsoft. Microsoft needs to compete with Sony. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They keep saying that Sony needs to do this, but they don't need to do anything. Jeff said the same stupid shit too. I'm like, what do you mean? Sony don't need to do shit. They are the kings right now. Microsoft needs to catch up to them. Yeah, you know, like it's backwards. They're selling more than everyone else. What if you sell more than everybody else? You're more desired. You're more desired than everybody else. More people want your product than they want other people's product. Period. So, well, other than Switch. But you know what I mean.
Somehow, some way, Xbox found a way to brainwash people and convince them that PlayStation need to compete with Xbox.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's
you know what
weird
it
too.
is?
That's the thing that's weird too, right? Because PlayStation is the market leader. Why the fuck do they need to copy the whole Xbox thing when they're fucking doing low? It's weird to me.
No, what's happened? What that is just Xbox fans not having anything else to say, so they're pushing Game Pass as much as they fucking possibly can. It's not Microsoft that's saying that Sony needs to do that. In fact, Microsoft is congratulating everything Sony does. Well, it's the fanboys and the influencers who are using that.
I was referring to fanboys.
Yeah, they're using it. Yeah. That's just they're using that to try to say Microsoft is ahead in some kind of way. And at the end of the day, Game Pass has been out for a while, and Xbox is selling less than what it did before. So Sony doesn't need a Game Pass system to sell a console. Xbox need games that will compete with the greatness that Sony's been putting out, like they used to do. I mean, 360 they put out some fantastic fucking games. That's the main problem. If they refuse to fix that, then they're gonna not sell. Just that.
And that's what gets me.
And putting them on multiple platforms ain't gonna help.
Well, that's what gets me is that like when the Xbox One launched, like it had games, like you know what they were. They had Sunset, they had Rise, they had Forzas, they had Quantum Leap or whatever the hell it is, Quantum Break. You know, they had games. You know. And then in 2016, they just stopped and they're like, now we're going to PC and now we're doing Game Pass and here's Sea of Thieves, State of Decay, Crackdown 3, and all of a sudden we're like, whoa, what the hell happened, dude? What happened?
Do you think if Phil would leave right now, things would be better?
That's interesting though, because like Jez, like you're right on the button because it's kind of crazy how the content just start going down. You know what I mean? It's
as soon as they started talking PC and started talking Game Pass, that's why people go, "Why you're disgruntled?" Because I didn't have a PlayStation 4. I was all Xbox. I had an Xbox One. It was fine, but in 2016, I had to start scratching my head because I'm like, where are we going from here? And I started seeing the quality. I'm going to tell you, the turning point was Quantum Break for me. I'm like, wait a second, this is not Microsoft quality. I'm like, this is all right. I'm like, and that was the first game that was a cross like PC play anywhere type title. And I'm like, yeah, it was okay. And then Sea of Thieves, I'm like, oh, like what is this game? They hit it. They weren't confident in it, and they had it in beta. People were complaining 6 months before going, where's the content? What is this game? We're playing the beta and Sea of Thieves. And we had 6 months of remember, the beta dropped at E3 and they had 6 months before it launched in January. And throughout the whole feedback loop was like, what is this game? What is going to be there day one? They kept saying, well, it's just the beta. This is alternate. And guess what? The same shit that was in the beta was the stuff that was there day one. All they did was add a store for customization. Like, that was it.
Yep.
And meanwhile, they bullshitted us for 6 months in the beta going, oh, more's coming. You know, we have day one stuff and day one update. Meanwhile, it was the same 3 types of missions for Sea of Thieves. And they were afraid about it. And we weren't confident until they got that demo like week before and people were interested in it that they started pushing it. They weren't confident in the game. But like, this is where they started going downhill. And that's when I started going like, what's going on? I got to try something else because Microsoft's not doing it for me. I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, this is not it. And that's when God of Wars and Uncharted 4s and all that stuff started dropping. And I was like, and I just migrated over to a PlayStation and I just started playing games there. I'm like, why will I go back to the Xbox when there's no new games that compel me to play. I could dab on my PC when I want of their games. There's not like they're coming out month after month of these banger games. Like they're kind of just like, let's check them out for $5. They're nothing that's a must play. Sony has all the must plays, plus I'll buy my multiplats on there. And actually what's interesting is I wound up buying less multiplat games because the first party exclusive content from Sony was enough to just get me to the next exclusive. So I didn't have to buy a bunch of like this filler bullshit because all I was getting was third party, where Microsoft had this lapse in first party development. And you had to buy all this third party bullshit to fill it up.
Do you think if Phil Spencer leaves that then the Xbox Xbox brand will be better?
The thing is I want Phil out because I want the Wizard of Oz away from the goddamn product. And I think with him gone, the exposure of what really is missing at Xbox will come to the top. The oil will float to the top. Because I think Phil is a con man. He is able to just say, hey, know what's hilarious? Is that every goddamn interview about Xbox is fucking Phil Spencer. Where is Matt Booty? He is the head of their first-party studio games. Why is he not talking about how their first party is doing? Why is it always Phil, who's supposedly at the table with Satya? He's too high up to be talking about Xbox. But because people love him, he has the charisma, he has the bullshit, and people just gravitate to whatever he says. But they're not using Matt Booty, who should have the vision as to what their studios are working on. Booty just did one interview. He does one a year. Phil's whoring himself out to China Magazine, the Venezuela publishing shit, saying all stupid shit about Kumbaya.
Well, they don't want to explain anything. They just want to sell.
Exactly. That's all it is sales pitches. That's why when you hear him interview, it's always like, I like to go do this. I think we should go do that. I think... Well, nobody's like I would get a fucking microphone and I would shove it so far in his fucking mouth that he couldn't even answer. And I'll be like, what happened to Halo? Nobody's asking those questions to Phil. They go, Phil, what do you think about roasting marshmallows with Sony? Oh, Sony's a good company. They ask him more bullshit. Ask him what the fuck happened to Halo, dude. What's going on? When's it coming out? What's Master Chief doing? Is there 4-person co-op? How many maps are going to release? Like, ask him the real questions. Don't ask him the bullshit about what he thinks they should go do. That's all horse shit.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, by the way, Thresh, I think you wanted to say something. I'm pretty sure you're driving pretty fast.
Kay wants to say something.
It was K. Yeah, it was K.
Sorry, K.
It's K.
Okay.
He's K.
Did you have something to say? No,
what?
Right? No? All right.
Oh, you had a point. I thought you had a point.
Well, anyways, what I was trying to say was that, hey, Thresh, I'm pretty sure you had something to say, and I know you're driving pretty fast, and your hair is blowing back, and you look like a model from a commercial, but what you have to say, bro?
Just mainly, we look at Xbox through the eyes of our community, and that's a mistake for us, as far as understanding where Xbox is going, or Xbox is doing, or how good Xbox is doing. That's why I say it's bad, because I look at it outside of what the community lens, I should say, or what we see. We talk to a lot of people on Twitter, talk to a lot of people on YouTube, and everybody's going to have differing opinions. Yeah. Not realizing that a lot of these people don't even have an Xbox. You know what I'm saying? And same thing with PlayStation. A lot of these people don't have a PlayStation or even game, like that one guy who said the freeze guy on Mortal Kombat.
Mm-hmm.
Who?
We really got to be able to look at, like, it was somebody in the thing that this motherfucker. Yeah, he said the freeze guy, and he didn't know who Sub-Zero was, so he said the freeze guy, but he said he'd been dead for years. Yeah, trust me. I mean, the community is
Wait, hold on. What the fuck? Yeah. How do you call him the freeze guy?
Yeah.
Who the fuck doesn't know he's Sub-Zero, bro? Yeah. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, this shows they don't play games.
There's no way you're a gamer and don't know Sub-Zero's name.
Yeah.
There's no way you play Mortal Kombat. There's no way. It's just too. It's just crazy. It's like calling Mario the plumber. Like, it doesn't make sense. Or Princess Peach. Princess Peach is a dragon's baby mama. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they call her Princess Apple or some shit like that. Yeah.
This, but the community is full of people like that. Yeah? The community. The people with the loudest voices are the ones who play games the least. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you think about it, real gamers on the Xbox side know how fucked up it is, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like, we know how fucked up it is. We speak more on Xbox than we do PlayStation because PlayStation ain't fucked up. Xbox is. And so these same Xbox fans say, well, you guys are PlayStation guys. Why you talk about Xbox so much? It's because we like gaming.
Yeah,
and Xbox
yeah.
is a part of gaming whether we like it or not. We see a problem with the Xbox, and so we're talking about it. You are pretending that there's not a problem because I don't think you're a gamer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you know
Like,
what,
you-
I
man?
think
It's clear
to
problem.
me,
Bringing on to that point though, Thrash. Shout out to my dude Crap Gamer, man, because he reminds me of King Ghidorah, right? He has like 3 heads in the same body. You know, he goes by Cap Gamer, Cap Gamer, and the middle head is Crap Gamer, and then all of a sudden you got now Hardcore Xbox Gamer. You know what I'm saying?
Hardcore
But-
Xbox gamer.
Yeah, but you know what, dude? He keeps it real, man. He's pretty chill. I got a chance to talk to him a couple times. Actually, you were on my show actually when he was on there too. He's pretty
Yeah.
chill, and you know what?
Yeah, yeah.
He calls people out for it, and I don't have a problem with that. I mean, I would do the same thing if PlayStation was doing the same shit that Xbox was doing, so it's all good.
you know what
I mean, when the
crazy thing-
industry is like telling you like that's the future, and it's just like, but the success right now is the traditional methods and the games that we're experiencing and winning and everybody's having a good time with. That is successful right now. Nintendo's selling bangers. Sony's selling like crazy, faster than the PS4. So how can you stay here and go, well, the future is what Xbox is doing when it is trailing both of them? Like, I could see
Yeah.
if the consoles, the Switch and the PlayStation were dying off, the games weren't
Yeah.
selling the way they are, and now Xbox is coming in with this new model, then people leaning towards that. But how can you say that when they're playing super catch up? And they're like in rebuild stage. We're celebrating Xbox 20 years, and they're basically now right back at Xbox 0. Like they're starting brand new with new studios and stuff.
I mean,
You know?
it tells you something when they're giving away Game Pass for $1 for 3 months, and they've been
Exactly.
doing it. They've been doing it forever, and they
Oh,
still haven't
Jesus,
reached the
man.
number that they've been
Cereal
wanting
and
to
all that
reach.
shit.
Exactly.
No, wait, okay.
Dumbass.
Go ahead.
Oh, my bad, y'all. I'm over here cussing out traffic and shit. I'm in California.
Oh, go ahead, Kate.
Dumbass. I strangle this nigga right now. That wasn't me saying that. I was listening still. I was fucking, this fucking guy don't know how to fucking.
Hey, bro. Hey, I know how it is, bro. I used to be a delivery
You know-
driver for FedEx and Amazon, so I know how that shit works, bro. But okay, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying that, you know, they've been doing this Game Pass for $1 forever, and they haven't even gotten close to that number that they've been wanting to reach. And they're giving it away for $1. They can't even hit that number at least once.
Yeah, yeah.
You want to
Because
hear
you know
you want
what?
to hear a funny
Because
story?
people.
Okay,
Just,
I got a funny
Go ahead,
story.
guys. Go ahead.
I know
Go
Jess is
ahead.
gonna say something funny as hell.
Yeah.
No, about the whole
Go
thing
ahead,
about
go ahead.
getting away for $1. Like, yeah, I was just gonna say, like, so just to hear how crazy this is. So I got a 14-day Game Pass subscription, right? So I signed up. I typed it in, and I somebody put it on Twitter, and I was typing it. Actually, shout out to Axel, one of my the guys
Oh,
on from
Axel.
Salty's Gaming.
Oh, yeah, I
Yo,
love
Axel
Axel.
put it up
Yeah.
there.
I love Axel.
Dude, and
Shout out to
he like
Axel.
he put it on Twitter, and I was like, let me see if I can get this. And I'm like, I typed it in, and I got it. And I'm like, oh shit, 14 days. So then what happened is that when you click on it, it goes, hey, we'll give you a month if you let us auto renew this on your credit card. So click here to auto renew. We'll give you a month. So I was like, okay, whatever. So I clicked on it, auto renew. I got a month of it, and then I went into my management and I canceled the auto renew. And I was like, bullshit. And I removed my credit card, saying like, you're not going to recur charge me. And I got the month on there. But like there's so many different methods that they're trying to finesse you into. Just set it and forget it, so that we'll just keep recharging you. You got a month, don't worry about it, because you'll remember 7 days on a trial or 14 days, like, oh shit, I ain't gonna charge my credit card. But a month, that might be out of your window, and you might just go, oh shit, what? I got this auto charge right now for a month. I guess I'll keep it for the month.
Yeah.
But they are definitely using ways to get you sucked into this.
You know
thing.
what's crazy about that?
Yeah.
Okay, I have a story about
Not with
that
the
too.
games,
Actually,
though.
happened a couple of days
Not with the
ago.
games.
I have a story about that too.
Hold
Go
on,
ahead.
hold on. Okay, so I was subscribed for PC for Game Pass, right? And so I wanted to unsubscribe because I was being charged $44 for 3 months. And so
What?
I yeah, that's
Oh,
how
they
much
got
it
the
is for 3
3 month
months. Yeah,
recharge.
yeah.
Oh, damn.
So I called what's it called, the Microsoft support team, right? And he's like, "You're canceled. You're finally done." I'm like, "Okay, cool." Next thing I know is that I didn't check my bill statement for 3 months, and I was being charged $9.99 for Game Pass each.
Oh, they
fucking
took
month.
you from the 3 months.
Yeah, bro. And I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?" I called them, and they
Like
said,
fucking
"Well,
AOL back in the day.
yeah, dude, that shit was crazy as hell." I was
Trying to
like, "What the
cancel
fuck?"
AOL. Holy shit.
Yeah, dog. I don't know who's talking next. Was that you, Omar?
Yeah, so to me, I had Game Pass beforehand until I started realizing, it's not for me. Not only that, I forgot to cancel it, and it got renewed 2 times. And I was like, shit. And of course, I couldn't get my money back. I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna cancel it then. And after that, I stopped using Game Pass. Like, if now I want game, I'm just gonna go buy it from Steam. Like, for example, that at Death Door game, it's just $15. Hey, Steam, here I come. Easy peasy.
You know, there was another thing too that I found, and I've been tracking this. So I only saw it on 2 games so far, but again, they haven't had the games leaving Game Pass. But I don't know if you saw it on my show that basically they had Marvel vs. Capcom and Soul and what is it? What is the hell of the game? The what the hell? There was other fighting game that they had on there. But what they did is that they have that discount. So when it leaves Game Pass, right? So the game leaves Game Pass, and I went on their store and I saw that they did have the discount up to 20% of games leaving Game Pass, and it was Soul Calibur. That's what it was. Soul Calibur and Marvel vs. Capcom. The base games that were in Game Pass were not the ones on sale. Instead, they gave a 10% discount to the Ultimate versions, and the Ultimate versions were at their full retail value. $90, 10% off, and $70, 10% off, or $60, 10% off. Both of those games were reduced down to like $72.99, and the other one was reduced to like $52.99. Then I went over just to check for the PlayStation Store, because I remember I bought Marvel vs. Capcom a while ago for cheap. They were on sale on the PlayStation Store, same editions. The $89.99 was $13, and the $69.99 was $15 for Marvel vs. Capcom and for Soul Calibur. They would discount like 80%. So now I'm going to look, and it's something to look into with like games leaving Xbox Game Pass. They'll put them on sale, but the max they'll put them on sale is 20%. The trick is to look at what they're taking that percentages off. If they're giving you that full retail value of the game and taking 10% off, it's just as bad as like a company going out of business and saying everything 50% off, but everything's jacked up. So at your 50%, you're really paying the same price that you probably pay on the thing. So it's something that I'm going to keep an eye on what they're doing, but it's a way of them saying, hey, you don't play fighting games before, but hey, you're going to like this. Now it's leaving Game Pass. And they have this thing saying this will leave Game Pass in about the next 10 days. So they give you that urgency and panic. You might go and say, well, I have the game already. I got the sale. Let me get the $60 game right now. Meanwhile, it's on sale for $13 on PlayStation. And no subscription needed. In order to get that 10 to 20% discount, you need to be subscribed to Game Pass to get that percentage discount. PlayStation, you don't have to have it. It's 80% off. So that's the thing. Like, they say 20%, they cap it because you're never going to get a game coming out of Game Pass on sale for like 70% off. They say up to 20%. So it's going to be interesting on what they use when the game leaves Game Pass, because that's the whole point of it. They got you subbed, and then they're going to get you on the back end. You can wind up probably paying more money because you're going to get games that you typically don't play because of Game Pass, get hooked on them, and then have to pay 10% off a full retail price possibly for these games, or 20% off. I don't like, that's not my gaming style, man. That's exactly what they're trying to do with this thing. That's why when people go, it's $1, it's $10, this is our future. Nobody says, well, wait a second, how are they going to screw me in this thing? Because this is too good to be true, some of the stuff. Like, Gears 5 in their day one. Yeah, why? Well, $10 skins. Okay. Well, now I see why. All the stuff you gave me free in Gears 4 is now $10 skins in Gears 5, and you gave me less maps this time than you did last year in the last version.
I heard
Just
even,
compromises.
I heard even some skins in that game are like $20, bro. That's
Dude, they are. And you can unlock them by playing all the game modes. I don't play escape mode. I just play versus. Well, no, you got to play everything. Horde mode, escape mode. That's how you earn the points to get it. So you had to like play the whole multiplayer suite in order to even earn them.
Gotcha. No, go ahead.
No, I was saying, there's just a lot of scamminess going on, and I don't like to take my hobby and turn it into just this scam, and that's why I not a huge fan of this. Like, I like Game Pass and PlayStation Now as supplemental services. You could kind of fill in the middle of the stuff that I choose not to buy. That shows up as like, oh, I'll check that out. But don't tell me that is my future, and don't even celebrate that should be our future, because that is a scam habit. That is AOL, Comcast, all rolled into one. Like, I don't want to have a scam. I don't want my hobby to turn into this low entry, compromised scam.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I want to choose what I buy.
I get what you're saying. With PlayStation Now, though, they do it a little differently, man. It's just like, well, if you haven't played these games, we have, here for you. That's it. It's not day and day.
Yeah, that's what I use it for.
Yeah. I don't look. Yeah, PlayStation Now is a little different, but I just love that they have a lot of content in there. And
they don't push it.
It's a compliment.
They don't force it on you. They don't push it or force it on you.
And it's $44 for a year or $60 for a year. It's not 118.
Exactly.
180. I mean, 180. Like, it's 60. That's why I even subscribe to it, because I get it for $44. I'm like, for $44, I get a year of games that will probably fill in some of the games I don't get to play. Like, and what they're doing with PlayStation Plus, that is even more of a competitor to what Game Pass is, because they're putting new games in there day and date, and giving pretty damn good games each month in addition to the collection that you got. So those two services together are not even as much as Game Pass at all.
Yeah.
I gotta ask something to people that actually know the shit about Xbox. When we saw the gameplay for Halo Infinite, who okayed this shit? Who is the blame for that? I'm curious.
For
Phil.
Game Pass?
No, Halo
showed
Infinite
that
gameplay showcase. Craig and the whole micmac. Who is to blame for this? Who should have stopped it before it was
I got no
showcased?
word in this.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean the Halo showcase?
Yeah. When they showed the Halo reveal, the Halo gameplay reveal, who okayed it? Who was
They did. Phil did.
Phil? So the bus stop at Phil. It's not Matt Booty, it's Phil Spencer. He's the one that's to blame for this. And people called me crazy because I blame Phil. They're like, no, you're blaming the wrong guy. You should blame Matt Booty and not Phil. I'm like, yeah, Matt Booty is the head of first-party titles, but Phil Spencer is the fucking head of Xbox.
Kind of reminds me of like when Yoshida ended up saying when he saw God of War, he's like, no, I need you guys to remake this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, well, I think it was shown how they wanted to show it. They spent a lot of time showing you games that were underwhelming, and it didn't matter whether you bought it or not. They knew it was going to be free to play. They're looking at games like Fortnite that are free to play, and Minecraft, which is like $1 or free to play, or $5. And they're saying that what Microsoft is banking on is trying to reduce quality of their games. They see fucking the Nintendo Switch, you know what I mean? Like, killing shit. They want to reduce the quality of their games so they can
bro, is
spend
it
less
raining?
and make more. Huh?
is it raining over there? Or what the fuck?
Oh, no, I'm walking past trucks and shit.
Oh, my bad.
My bad. It's not, I'm over here at the yard and shit, so we're trucks and shit. But, yeah, if you look at what they're doing, they're reducing what we expect from them quality-wise. Don Matrix spent all that time. If you look at it, Don Matrix spent all that time building blockbuster hits. He was even on the show before he got fired saying that. And then if you think about it, the Xbox One, 90% of those games were games approved and signed by Don Matrick, not Phil Spencer. Now, so what we saw games like Scalebound get canceled, games like Fable get canceled and now remade. So Phil Spencer can put his name on top of shit. And what's going on is they're reducing the quality of game. I mean, fucking look at Crackdown, same thing. High quality at first, low quality after that.
He
it's
have
kind
any
of
vision.
it's kind of crazy, bro. Because like I didn't want to bring this up again, but like you mentioned it, it's kind of crazy when Phil Spencer ended up telling people that it's better for gamers when Scalebound was canceled. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yes. It's as crazy when he said the single player game doesn't have the same impact.
That's crazy.
Like I swear.
Well, he said he'll make up for Street Fighter
I'm
5.
buying an Xbox for this, and then I realized it get canceled. I'm like, bro.
Jesus Christ.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I genuinely believe Phil Spencer wanted to kill single player games. I genuinely believe that.
I mean, it's
He'll
possible.
say
I mean,
whatever, he will say whatever he needs to say at any given time. He will be on a PC interview and say, "Hey, PC gaming is this is the best thing ever," and completely shit on his own console in a PC gaming interview. He'll go on and he went, and this is the thing, like he goes on The Verge last year and hypes up friggin' xCloud coming to Samsung TVs. Oh, you'll see that in a year. But meanwhile, hides Halo behind a friggin' a wall that you don't even know what the hell's going on with any of the games. The thing is that he has a message to sell the service, and that is all he's going to do. And he's going to say whatever he needs to say. My problem is, my thing that I'm a true head scratcher is that he was in charge of Xbox first party studios under Ed Freeze, under Shane Kim. He was there for the longest time. He's seen Xbox first party Microsoft Studios. How, when you are the lead, because this what fooled me. When I heard he was going to be the lead, I'm like, oh my God, the head of all the first party games is now heading Xbox. We're going to get the best games ever. And we got the worst lineup that we could ever see. We got games canceled. We had the driest goddamn first party we've ever seen. And he even admits that the quality has been bad back in 2019. And now we're supposed to take him on his promises that these games coming out are going to be the one-all and be-all games. I want to know how the hell you manage 23 studios. How do you ensure the quality comes out of 23 studios to the extent of that? You can't.
How is Xbox still rebuilding? How is Xbox? It was in the middle of the generation rebuilding. And now, literally, at the start of the new generation,
they're like a startup now, dude. They're like a startup company. 20 years of Xbox, and it's like almost like they went back to the OG Xbox when they actually had games in the OG Xbox. But like, we're celebrating 20 years now, and it's just like, yeah, our game's not coming for the next 4 or 5 years. Like, we bought studios and.
Just, it's kind of weird how you put it, like a startup company, because it kind of does seem like that in some sense, because, they're starting up. Obviously, their games are not going to come out anytime soon, right? And then you have PlayStation already making games for PS5 only. Just like Return of Ratchet and Clank, and it's kind of weird to be put in that situation where it's like you're a startup company. It's crazy. I didn't even think about it that way, but I kind of had some idea what you were saying.
Yeah, because it's just and it's funny because they said it back in when he had that interview with the Fortune magazine. The guy's like, "Well, is Xbox profitable?" And he's just like, "Well, I said it was profitable." He's like, "Well, when was it profitable?" He goes, "Well, it's more of a growing business, like a business that's growing." And he's like, "That sounds very startup-y. Like, how are you saying like that? This is like you're all about growth, and that's where that Game Pass comes in. Like, all they care about now is getting that Game Pass growth." They want that number, that million number needs to be high enough for them to have leverage and flexibility in getting more content and better quality content in Game Pass. Because you got to think about it. Like, if you put shit ingredients into a product, it's going to taste like shit. So, like, you got to get, you got to, even if it looks pretty, like, the thing is that you got to, in order for Game Pass to grow, you need to put content in it. And in order to put content in it, you need to have Game Pass to be growing. So, like, it's this feedback loop of kind of like they're in this dire circle and they're going to have to take a lot of hits. But Game Pass is not going to grow. And people are not stupid. They're not going to sign up for this
Yeah, and
if there's no
that's
content in it.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, the casuals, like I keep telling people all the fucking time.
Yeah,
they're playing their
they're not-
Apex, their Fortnites, their Minecraft, that's what they're playing. And nobody's gonna go sign up like us. Like, we probably would sign up because, like, we're hardcore. We play all kinds of games. Like, me personally, I play like puzzles. It doesn't matter what fucking genre it is. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
it's for the very niche audience. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say about that.
It is. It's for niche on, but that's why you're gonna see more bundles like, hey, Disney Plus with Game Pass and like this with game. Like, they're going to try to add value to this thing because, and then the other thing too, I to mention is that I really think that they're what they're doing right now is they're not really growing. Like that 18 million. I don't believe that that's like new customers. I think they're just converting their 80 million, 90 million, or 60 million, 80, 90 million Xbox Live customers into Game Pass Ultimate subscribers. They're just converting the same group of people. They're not like, I want to know how many people signed up for Xbox Live Ultimate that are only on a phone or that are only on PC. Like, I doubt that those are the main leaders of this Xbox Game Pass. A majority of them are probably just Xbox Live users that just did the upgrade for for $1 or whatever and added Xbox Game Pass Ultimate to their Xbox Live. So are they really growing or they're just converting? So as Game Pass grows, does the Xbox Live number drop? If that's the same thing, then basically all they're doing is just trying to flip-flop people. They're not growing the audience like they say they are. Like, oh, we're on phones and TVs now and stuff like that. Or 20 million strong. And it's just like, yeah, but it's the same people that you already had it. By you putting it on TV doesn't mean you're getting an influx of 30,000 people coming in because now Game Pass is on a TV.
Yeah, definitely.
So, like, you got to think about, like, what do you, like, are you really growing or are you saying it's growth, but it's really just moving people over, taking the herd from Xbox Live? You devalue the shit out of that service. Game Pass, Games with Gold is garbage. People probably scratch their heads going, why am I even paying for this shit? But they'd rather pay $60 rather than $180. So that's the difference. So, like, so you got to get them those upgrade things. But
Yeah.
It's a problem for them. This has nothing to do with PlayStation. Microsoft has a whole internal struggle with convincing the people that they built up and dependent on Xbox Live babies, if you want to call them, like the people that they built Xbox Live around, convincing those people that, hey, check out this service. This is the better one. They have this whole internal struggle. And guess what, guys? You subscribe to play those games now. You don't have to buy them. You can buy them if you want, but we'll prefer you if you subscribe to get them. That's a whole internal battle that I don't know if Microsoft has the patience to deal with it.
Yeah, definitely. No, I definitely agree with you. By the way, Jessamine, you got a fucking good voice. Shit, goddamn.
Jeez, I
sounds
lose my
like-
voice, man.
sounds
I
like
hope I'm not talking too much on your show, man. I don't mean to.
I thought I turned on my radio and I could
wow.
hear you. I'm like, goddamn, shit.
Oh, shit. I had to do the freaking Bachelor Grindhouse last night. The frogs couldn't come through. I was there talking for freaking 3 hours.
All right.
Yeah, you feel
Before,
you feel so
go ahead.
so vocally. I feel so vocally underwhelming when I'm in the room with this nigga fucking Mooch. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, fucking right no person.
I got no real goddamn voice.
Anyways, all right. Okay, so last topic. I know Omar wanted to cover on this. I don't know if you guys have any input on it, but Social Destruct on the chat. He said, "Let me put this out there before you mention." So Psychonaut is declared Game of the Year. So a Windows Central website said so, and Xbox is a product. I mean, Xbox is a micro product. That's how sad it is. Okay, see, I don't know the whole thing about the whole Psychonauts 2 situation, but I know that Omar wanted to cover it. I don't know, Omar, if you could touch on it. Just cover it up so we can wrap this whole show up real quick, because I didn't even expect it to be this long, to be honest with you.
I did expect it to be long. I told you.
Gotcha. Go ahead. Explain the situation.
Just
Okay.
send media invite because
If
oh
you
god
don't
damn it.
have time, we can not cover it. Up to you.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. So in case you have been living under a rock, Psychonaut was first a Kickstarter game before Microsoft bought the Double Fine studio. When they kickstarted it was first for the Xbox older generation and the PlayStation 4. And after Microsoft bought them, they were quote unquote got the funding to add boss battle. Yeah, boss battle, because apparently the game was not gonna have boss battle because they didn't have enough funding. So what Double Fine did is they gave Xbox Series X and a version where it's 120 frames, HDR, all that shit. And PlayStation, if you want to play it on PlayStation, you're gonna play it backwards compat on your PlayStation 5. You get only 60 FPS, no HDR, no 4K, no anything, and of course no DualSense integration.
But when it comes to the frames and stuff like that, can your eye even see past 60 frames anyways to begin
Dude,
with?
I never given a fuck about frames. I'm just calling it how it is. I beat Returnal twice on 30 FPS. I don't do frame talk, but I'm just calling it how it is.
Yeah,
However,
if you guys in the chat, I mean, not in the chat, but if you guys in the panel don't know, fucking Karab over here, Omar, he beat Returnal on 30 frames per second. God damn.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Shout out! I gotta give it to Wooly. You're one of your crew from on Salty podcast. I was literally listening, and he was like, "If he beat Returnal."
Yeah, Wooly went wild on you. Yeah.
FPS, I'm gonna eat my elbow. Back then, I was at Biome 3. I got stuck a little bit because of them
wait, hold on. By the way, shout out to Wooly Gamer actually for
for the engagement,
yeah, for like getting what's it called? Giving the ring to his girl and getting
engagement.
Engagement. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest W yet.
All right, go ahead. Sorry about that.
So Wooly, no problem. So Wooly was like, yeah, if he beat Returnal at 30 FPS, I'm gonna eat my own elbow, Wooly said. And I took that not as an offense, but more like as a motivation to continue with the game. It's not like I've given up on it, but I was getting stuck because of them fucking drones, dude. They can flank you, and there is one room. You literally go in. There is no enemy, and after 1 second or 10 seconds, 10, 15 drones in one room. You would be destroyed because the second you go out of the room, they already flanked you from other side. It's over. That's genuinely a run ender room. So at any case, I proved them wrong, and I beat Returnal twice. The reason is quite because I needed the secret ending. I already got the original ending. I wanted the secret ending. So yeah, I beat Returnal twice on 30 FPS. Anyway, Psychonaut is a dick move on Microsoft's end, because if this game was exclusive to Xbox, I would have been no problem at all. But when you're putting game for PlayStation, you don't hold back next gen upgrade. Like if you need to make it a next gen for just specifically for PlayStation 5, then you fucking do it. You're a company. You're in it to make money. This was literally a Kickstarter that I'm pretty sure mad people from PlayStation fans backed it up. Heck, even the PC version doesn't even have HDR.
Not even the Xbox One X and the Xbox One X has it either.
No.
Yeah, one thing about that topic, right? My bad for cutting y'all off, but the one thing about that topic is that when I said that even the PC version doesn't have HDR, people were telling me that Psychonauts 2 is essentially an 8th gen game or a last gen game upscaled, and they're using Xbox's auto HDR, and I'm like, okay, but The PS4 version, which is the only version of that game, doesn't have HDR at all. Period. Like,
And the game is $60.
people
It's
have a
not
problem with
worth
that.
it.
So hold on. I'm kind of confused. So basically, PlayStation gamers are getting the lesser version, even though they have to pay full price for it, rather than being Game Pass.
Pretty much.
Yes.
But
I think
why?
it's some Game
That
Pass,
just
of
makes no
course.
sense to me.
Like, can you imagine?
Yeah, I'll send
do
you the
remember?
Discord. This is what's
I-
going on. I'll send you a thing.
I just want to link two things. Do you guys remember the whole shit show when Resident Evil 8, there was a rumor, not rumors, that Xbox fanbase started. They literally faked a contract signing between PlayStation and Capcom so that it said that the PlayStation 5 should be the best version of the game. They literally faked that shit, and people were outraged like a motherfucker. And the same thing, and now when it comes to MLB The Show, it was running what, 2 frames, 5 frames behind PlayStation, and people were outraged at that. But here, literally, Xbox, I call them Xbox because Double Fine now first part studio for Xbox, is not delivering on a next gen for a company that they, for audience that they not per se promise, but more like it's their job. Like, you making games, you should deliver it. If it's exclusive, no problem. But you can't half-ass it.
Gotcha. Hey,
Oh, yeah.
Guapzilla said, he said, yep, Series S. Oh, goddamn. Fuck. Sorry about that. He says, yep, Series S gets 120 frames at 1080p mode, which is totally absent on PS5. PS5 gets 60 frames and 1440p. Honestly, I'll take the 1440p over the 120 frames. So it is what it is. But
And it has the VRR and the HDR on the Xbox. The ones that have HDR on it are the Xbox. I sent you the link of it. My thing is on this whole thing, this is coming from an Australian website, and they're saying that it's sent to them from there. But I think, I think it's close to this. First off, I'm sure those resolutions are targeted resolutions, and those are max frame rates. So let's see how it performs in action. People can say it hits it once, it's 60 frames per second, but does it hold 60 frames? We do tend to see the situation when the Series X does run at higher resolutions, that the performance necessarily is as consistent as running at a lower resolution. We saw it all throughout the One X. The PlayStation 4 Pro ran it at a lower resolution, but a more steadier frame rate. But the thing is that there is no PlayStation 5 version. So you're running it through PlayStation back compat. But the one thing that they did allow, which I think is pretty good, is that at least you get the 60 frames on the PS5. So it does do that kind of thing like what Ghost of Tsushima does, or like what Last of Us 2 does, where it actually unlocks the frame rate to take advantage of the more powerful hardware. So it would really be shitty if they just gave you the PS4 Pro version running at 30 frames at 1440p, but at least they give you the 60 frames on the PS5. So you do get a benefit playing it on a PS5 over the PS4. The other problem is that this game is really not a looker. So I could give a shit about the resolution it's running at. Like, this is like not even like a game that's like, look at the power of this like, this game really is not. It has a different type of art style. I'm sure it looks clean, but it's not a game that you like comparing to like Ratchet, like the fidelity of Ratchet, looking at playing at these resolutions. Like, this game was really an older game,
To be fair, it's not fair to compare it to Ratchet, but at the same time, this game doesn't deserve a $60 price tag. From what I've seen.
Oh yeah, I know it's $60, which is pretty crazy. But
It's
they
way too
do
much.
that knowing that
They can't even put the game on PlayStation if they're just going to gimp the versions of it and only have one version of it. They have all this stuff for Xbox, but barely anything for PlayStation. They just gave you an upscaled version of
that's it.
the last shit version.
That's all they're doing. They didn't do a PlayStation 5 version.
To me, man.
I say like this. First,
As customers, we're not allowed to tell them what to price their games, right? Regardless, that they feel like it's $60, that's what they feel, right? So let them do it. I just won't buy it, right?
Yeah, I'm not
Because
gonna buy it as well.
for me, it's not worth that price. So just don't buy it. That's the only thing we can do because that's their game. They're telling us what they want for it. So it is what it is, right? But then on top of that, compare it to Ratchet and Clank. Anybody who wants to compare this game to Ratchet and Clank does not deserve to be talking about gaming. The only reason you want to compare it to a game like Ratchet and Clank is because you want to try to say that it's better, or Xbox has something better than PlayStation. And anybody doing that isn't a gamer, because that's not how we value games. Not how we look at games. We don't put our opinions on something. If something looks better or plays better, that's what it is. Comparing a game like Ratchet and Clank to this is a disgrace to anybody claiming that it's a game of the year level game or a game.
This was a passion project. This was a Kickstarter, wasn't it?
Kickstarter game.
Yes, it was a Kickstarter.
So let it run on the strength of that. When you go and you compare it to Ratchet and Clank, you're doing it as a disservice. You're trying to say it looks better.
Right.
But everybody gonna look like you got shit on your face, and all it does is magnify just how bad the game looks. So, it's all fanboy shit. I guess my whole point at the end of the day, it's a Microsoft game. They chose not to make the PlayStation version better, or make the PlayStation version on par, or whatever. Didn't make a PlayStation 5 version, or whatever. And they'll pay for that, because now, people are going to be turned off by it. And PlayStation is their biggest market that they would usually sell games on. So that's all on them. I say let them lose their money.
Let them burn.
Yeah, let them burn. Here's what it is.
No, yeah, definitely. I completely agree with you.
They cut themselves in the foot with this one.
I just think that if they were going to release a version on PlayStation, they should at least have, it be on similar groundswell. I mean, it's a Microsoft game at this point, so they're allowed to do whatever they want on the Xbox side. But if they're going to put the effort in to make a PlayStation version, it should at least show that it has effort and not be missing features, even on PC. That's the kind of thing that makes me feel like I'm feeling a little bit that's what's going to make people feel some type of way, because it's how are you going to release a PlayStation version just because you can? It's I don't get that, but I mean, it is what it is.
Lamar, what the fuck are you trying to say, motherfucker? I can't understand.
Oh,
It almost comes off as disrespectful.
Huh?
It almost comes off as disrespectful.
What do you mean?
They're gonna. It feels like like you said, that they're pretty much Xbox, and then they do what they want with Xbox, but then they're gonna it almost feels like it's backhanded to just do a regular PS4 version and not even attempt, or say maybe in the future we're gonna do a PS5 version. But it's whatever. I wasn't even planning on buying the game when it even was first announced, anyways. So.
Which one, Ratchet and Clank?
No, I was talking about Psychonauts.
Oh, Psychonauts. Okay, gotcha.
I just think that should be in the game in general. That's really how I feel about it. But
the game is in development for 16 years. 16. They've been talking about sequels since the OG Xbox.
16 years?
Yeah.
Damn.
The original Psychonauts came out on the original Xbox. That's where the first game came out.
OG Xbox?
The OG, the black and green one, yeah.
Oh shit.
That's when the first one came out. They were talking about a sequel back then. It was like this. And I think it was only on Xbox, and then eventually they came to other platforms. But then I remember when, that's how this game's been 14, 16 years in the making. And then they did other games, but this sequel's been it's been in the, talked about for this long. I don't know. Development started with Kickstarter, but it dropped in 2004. Guapzilla. So yeah, it's old. So I want to see a lot of people going Psychonauts 2, it's so much better than the first one. They fixed a lot of things. Dude, it's 2004.
Yeah, 2004. I just saw that right now.
So what are we going to compare it against, dude?
This game, I would not be surprised if it's not Dead on Arrival. PlayStation fans are not going to support it. PC fans, I doubt they're going to be okay with this.
No, some of them are.
Sorry?
Some of them are basically blaming what's happening with Psychonauts on the PS5 limitations of backward compatibility, and I'm like, it's not necessarily about that. It's just more about it straight up missing features on everything except Xbox.
Wait, hold
essentially.
on. Did you say that PC gamers were blaming PS5?
Yeah, I understand. Some of them were like, "Oh, it's because the PS5 has a thing with backwards compatibility or something like that," and essentially not to blame Microsoft for giving all versions of the game. Essentially, that's not on Xbox.
Dude, you know how stupid that shit sounds? Like when you really think about it. You know what I'm saying? Like blaming PlayStation 5 for that? I mean, that's fucking crazy. Jesus Christ. All right.
But that's the thing. People are brain dead.
Yeah, definitely. All right.
I'm like, you're literally missing features on the, like HDR and shit like that. And it's like, I don't care about the tech stuff, but it's just like, why is that feature missing if you're going to put it on if the PS4 can do HDR, it should have it, right?
Yeah, it's ultimately like up to the developers and stuff when it comes to that kind of stuff. I don't know. Maybe there's some deal going on behind the back doors with Microsoft.
I just think they didn't want to spend resourcing in making a PS5 version. Like that's what they basically what they're doing is they're kickstarting people who wanted the PS4 version, and that was about it. And they just uncapped the resolution, the frame rate for that. But I would say also, I wouldn't take this whole thing. Like, I would wait for more analysis on it when it actually comes out. Like, I don't, again, these are targeted resolutions, so even if this stuff may be changing and stuff like that, but I think the HDR and stuff will probably be confirmed. But I would say definitely on performance and things like that, for actual numbers and actual, is the better resolution the best way to go? Because sometimes that doesn't work out all the time, and you'll find out that the 1440p will be smoother, because I've seen some previews and the frame rate is a little all over the place. Another thing, too, talking about, like, Thrash and micro-influences and stuff, do take note of how many people I found on Twitter who have already previewed the game, and Microsoft sent preview copies. They were pretty liberal with preview copies for this game. So, keep that in mind when you look at, feedback and stuff. But they kind of sent this out a month earlier for preview stuff, and a lot of the community people got a hand on it.
Yeah, definitely. No, I completely agree.
Micro-influences.
Oh, Thrash,
Yeah, I'm just saying I wouldn't trust anybody who has a bigger smile of face on. Anybody who getting something for free, even if it's review codes, no matter what anybody tells you, that's influence for them.
Exclusive previews, Thrash, even better.
Yeah.
Exclusive previews,
you know what I mean?
Okay.
I mean, what these companies are doing is they're making they're trying to make people feel like a part of the team, and that's value to YouTubers and all that shit. Don't even got to be money. If you feel like you have connections or you have a value, I mean, you can see fucking Cody Eastwood, making shit up, and people like even writing articles about the shit that he says, just because he had people from Microsoft on his show. Now he's a credible source. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of like when he said that Microsoft was the market leader, man. Get the fuck out of here, dog, man. What the fuck is wrong with you?
And people writing articles about it. So they're spreading that word of this YouTuber who is really a fucking musician over a gamer, and he doesn't even look. He doesn't have connections like that. He just has a channel that a lot of Xbox fans watch, and Microsoft give him or pay him visits to help push that product. Anybody who's getting something from somebody, be it Sony, Nintendo, PlayStation, Steam, whoever, if you're getting something free from them, that's influence regardless. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be influenced. You're going to want something else from them, or you're going to want to keep that connection because it only helps you. And because of that, you're not going to say too many bad things about it. There are some out there who will do it, and trust them, the ones who don't give a fuck, the ones who give away the review code of their game, or they'll buy the game and have the review code, but they'll buy their own game and then give that game away. Like, look, I paid my money for this still. I didn't do this shit for free. I didn't pay the review code,
But here's the thing, these motherfuckers, do they
careful.
actually believe in what the fuck they actually saying, or are they just fucking capping? That's what I don't understand sometimes, because, like, me personally, if I were to say something live on air, or if I were to say it on a tweet, if I said something stupid as hell, dude, I would feel like a shit person. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't do that
It's
to
a different
myself because I
persona
care.
that you're
Yeah, because
online.
I
That's
care.
nothing you
Yeah,
do.
because I care about who I am. You know, I care about my pride and my ego. And you know, I'm not my ego, just my pride, but like just in general, like I like to give out information to people
care about
when
what
it
you
comes
say.
out. Yeah.
But gaming despair. Think about if you say a bunch of great things and then some Microsoft person comes out to you and going, hey, you know, you're gonna have access to our guy who developed the Xbox before anybody else. He's gonna come on your show and ask questions, and then your channel blows up and all that other stuff. Are you going to really tell your opinion on how you feel about the product if it doesn't meet your needs when you had this insider access to their like the person who built the console, the person who's like, you know, head of their community, the person developing games, like they're giving you exclusive behind the stage access to these people before they even given it to the IGN. They're not doing it to the IGNs anymore. They're doing it to help you build your channel based off of that. You got this exclusive interview with you know, not Major Nelson, but one of those guys, you know, the guy architect of this and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, are you really gonna come on there and be like, this sucks? And these because you'll probably lose your backstage access. So you got to think about what you want to do.
Here's the thing. I don't like to lie to the people that do listen to me or people on Twitter, right? I mean, I have people. I'm probably gonna get Jeff Ross on pretty soon. The one that made Days Gone, but
Days Gone.
I love the game. So I get a chance to talk to him. I only follow people, bro, that I actually like when it comes to
that you actually
developing
like.
community.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, but I'm not gonna fucking bullshit. Like I can't do that to myself, bro, because like then I would look like them. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do that.
You sell your soul. You sell your credibility, and then you give an honest opinion about something. Nobody's gonna take your, and that's where I value. That's why I just do what I do, just like what Thresh says. Like, you know, on this thing, just do what you do. You just talk about how you feel, because if I turned into I'm compromised because I gotta say something a certain way so I get a certain thing, then me coming on here and talking my mind, it's invalidated. It's not validated because now I have to have a bias towards something. I can't tell you how I genuinely feel about something because I gotta be careful. You know, bullshit. That's not why I started my channel. Not to be careful. You know what I mean? That's why I'm probably never gonna get a review copy. I don't care. I buy what I want, and I'll tell you how I feel about something. Like that's how I feel like I'm going to go through it. That's because that's how I would take feedback back. Like I would take somebody who legitimately just goes and gets stuff and tells me what they feel about it. Like that's how I'll buy something. But if somebody's like, this is sponsored by this and they sent me this for free, all of a sudden I'm like, okay, well, you know, I'll take it in consideration. But
that's why I respect you in the panel, like all you guys, because like, you know, we play our games and, you know, we have a legitimate, you know, review of how it is, if it's shit or not, but we're gonna say I'm not gonna cap, you know what I'm saying? Like just because like let's just say I didn't like Days Gone, right? I'm having an interview with Jeff Ross. I'm not gonna tell him how great it is if I thought it was shit. No, I loved it.
Yeah, I loved your game. You know, you have like 3 videos going, this game sucks.
Yeah, man.
You know, it's definitely, and it's this, and it goes to all that stuff like with you know, this whole influences and all this other stuff that they've learned that this is a way, because it's not through the IGNs anymore and magazines and all that stuff. It's through these small group, the channels, these small things to kind of get that trust there and go hit those people, you know, butter their ass and give them all free stuff so that they talk good about your product. And, you know, but meanwhile, you know, you got to realize what you're doing to your audience and the audience that you're building, you know, and you can't, and it's going to be hard for you to be critical of anything else and somebody take you seriously when we know like who's been paid off, you know, who's been kind of paid off and stuff.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. That's the thing too, man. Like
I care less about Sony, and that's one thing I would add to that is that Sony, like, you know, that's why with Sony, they're not whoring out Jim Ryan to podcast. So Microsoft is capitalizing on this kind of stuff, and they're sending their staffs out there and you know, becoming memes. Like, hey, you memed us at refrigerator, well, we're gonna make a fridge. Ha ha ha! You know, you memed us as this, we're gonna make this. Like they are trying to be like, they're trying to be the cool dads. You know, that's what I'm always saying. They try to be cool dads. They're like, hey, like, yeah, I'm hip. Like, look at me. I know what all the kids like these days. Like, and that's what they come around and they're trying to do that. Where Sony is just, I don't give a shit if Jim Ryan leaves. I don't give a shit about any of them. All I care about is the product and if it's value to me for me to buy. I could care less if Jim Ryan goes tomorrow. Good, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Who's next? Next up, yeah, like I don't care. That now there goes all my Gordon Ramsay jokes if Jim Ryan leaves. I can't have him leave because all my Gordon Ramsay shit goes away. But that's all I care about. But I care about the product that I'm going to hand over my money to buy and if it's worth it to me. And obviously that has got a little blurry line on Xbox because they are now putting, it's about Phil Spencer. That's why they whore him out everywhere because he is the face of Xbox and people are invested in him. Not necessarily the product because he hasn't offered anything, but him. So if they make him go out and say some nice things, everybody just feels warm and fuzzy. It goes right back to that whole warranty skit from Tommy Boy. I could take a shit in a box and slap guarantee on it, but what does that make you feel? All warm and fuzzy. So he's like, warranty makes a man feel good. I see warranty on a box, I know it's guaranteed. And he's like, I could go take a shit in a box and put a slap a guarantee on it. All I'm doing is selling you a guaranteed piece of shit. You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Jesus Christ, man, fuck. That's the first time I heard that shit. I'm not gonna lie.
Did you ever see it though? You ever see Tommy Boy that skit?
You gotta send me the link, bro. Honestly.
Oh my god, you never seen it? Dude, that is like the best thing.
All right,
He's
guys.
selling Brickhead.
Thrash, I don't know if you have any last comments or Karaba, K, Juz.
Yeah, always got last comments, man. Always. Always.
There we go. See, that's how Thrash talks. That's how I want him to talk, man. Shit. Just warming up, man. He's just warming up, man.
It's hard for black people out here in America, bro. Like it or not, dog. It's hard. Real. We gotta be two people. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's hard to be myself around people because people just get scared, dog. It is what it is.
Oh
and
shit.
then they're scared. I'll be like, what's up, homie? They be like, oh my god, don't steal my money. Like it's just there are people like that, dog. And niggas don't. A lot of black people don't know how that feels, dog.
Damn shit. Thrash sounds like he's 280 pounds of
be like,
muscle, man. I swear to God.
You know. If I was to say anything, like, just watch how gaming is changing, man. I called this shit years ago. Me and Sick, man. I mean, when I say years, I mean like 2-3 years ago. Niggas called it. We said that this generation is going to be the weirdest generation in console history. This generation, you're going to see a lot of push for shit that gamers don't want because they want to change the landscape of gaming. They want to make it to where the Western companies are making more money than the Eastern companies. They're tired of Nintendo and Sony leading the way. They're tired of the Japanese leading the way because the Japanese are quiet and they mainly help their own people. That's just the fact of the matter, right? And you're going to see, big companies.
Bro, that's why they're Godzilla, bro, in the gaming industry.
Yeah.
Lurker in the woods.
You know what I'm saying? If you look at it, just sit back and look at it. The games that have the most like game feel, like a game that has the most like experience push on it, are Japanese-led games. You know what I'm saying? Or games that are made by the Japanese. All these Western companies, Europe, America, they're about money. And so they're making free-to-play games because there's big money in that. Because, it's money. Your fucking kids will go and steal $200 out of your fucking wallet without you knowing.
Now that I think about it, dude, it's kind of crazy that, Japan, they cater to companies like Naughty Dog when The Last of Us came out, or like Ghost of Tsushima, or like Horizon Zero Dawn, man. It's crazy how they know what to look for when it comes to selling out a blockbuster Game of the Year game.
Yeah, people don't like. People tell me like, "Oh, Guerrilla Games," and if they're not Japanese, I'm like, who do they pitch that game to? You need to go and listen to Guerrilla Games and find out how many games they pitched to Sony before they even allowed Horizon. Horizon was their last pitch. I think they had like 7 pitches, and Horizon was the last one that they fucking had, and that one got finalized. Look at God of War. Look at what happened. Shu went up in there and like, what the fuck is this? You know, like if you can say, oh, it's an American company. No. Sony will go in there and be like, this isn't good enough. This isn't happening. This isn't it. And in fact, the same thing happened to God of War when Dave Japp was running it. He even told me a story about that. About they had to chase Shu down to the fucking cab. Shu was already in his cab. I think they wanted to make it multiplayer. They wanted to make it cross-gen. And Shu was like, no, I think it was God of War 2 or some shit. They wanted to make. They didn't want to make it cross-gen. They wanted to make it just PS3 or some shit, something like that, and shoot like broke it down for their ass. Like, no, nigga. He said at the end of the day that motherfucker was broke. So these niggas, these Japanese-led companies are ran by Japanese-led companies. American companies are just pushing for whatever they can get. The reason why Google was in gaming is not to make gaming better. The reason why Stadia and Amazon are trying to get into gaming is not to make gaming better. EA has stopped trying to make gaming better and just trying to get money out of gamers for the cheapest amount of work that they can do.
Yeah.
Period.
Hey, Thrash, bro. I was waiting for that the whole fucking time because, like I said, man, before that people thought we had a pastor next to you because you weren't swearing, and they said it was weird as shit. So, like, hey, bro, you gotta stay consistent, my dude. You know what I'm saying?
I'm telling you, dog, it's not on purpose, bro. I gotta survive. That motherfucker's gonna be hearing me. You have to put my hands up and feet against the wall and all this shit. Pull your pants down. We're doing an anal check real quick and all that.
Oh shit!
Extra
Goddamn!
shit.
Fuck, man, that was some extra shit right there. Goddamn.
And when I'm in Long Beach, these motherfuckers are fucking crazy out here, bro. They'll pull you over and call for backup.
Oh,
like,
shit.
they won't tell you why. You get pulled over. You're going to wait for 15 minutes. You're going to see this big, like, movie scene of, like, 20, 30 fucking police cars come roll up on your fucking ass, surrounding your fucking car, guns out. And they be like, can I have your license and registration?
Has that happened to you before?
Where you going, Jay?
Has that happened to you before or no?
Don't mind that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Many times.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? Many times. In Long Beach, bro, I've gotten pulled over. I've gotten pulled over for God knows how for what for lights or something like that, right? I got pulled over 30-something times and never got a ticket. You know what I'm saying? They'll blame it on something. They'll say some shit, but I never get a ticket. They just want to check my car. So I just started to let them check it. Instead of arguing with them, go, nigga, what's in there? Nothing. Nigga, go check it, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Go get some sodas in the back seat if you want some of that. Nigga, like, go, do it, handle it. That's the fastest way to get out of it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But it's that bad. They pull niggas over for no reason. Well,
yeah,
it is what it is.
Yeah, that I have a funny story. Actually, that shit happened to my cousin. He's Hispanic, and they pulled him over, and the dude's like, "Hey, where's the coke?" And he had a pickup truck, right? And he had a 24 pack of coke in the back, and he's like, "Oh, it's in the back." And cop goes over there and he fucking checks it out, and he finds out that it's a pack of Coca-Cola, right? And he gets pissed off, so he arrests him. I know how it is. Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
Yeah, because I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's quota or what, bro. But they're just angry, bro. Like, they're just taught to be angry, dog. They used to be protect and serve. Now they just want to serve you a ticket. That's it. They just want to serve you.
Or they want to serve to beat your ass. That's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've had it back when I was gang banging. It was even worse. You know what I'm saying?
Gang banging? What the fuck?
Yeah, I used to ain't nothing I'm proud of. And shit, I keep looking at these weird ass niggas on.
Well, no, you mean like some gangster shit? You talking about porn stars? What are you talking about?
No, gangster.
Alright, some gangster shit. What were you in? What the fuck? Actually, I shouldn't be saying that live on air. Actually, now that I think about
Shit,
it.
nigga, they'll whoop your ass and drop you off somewhere.
Yeah, right.
In the enemy room. They were real bad back in the day. So, I mean, I don't fuck with the cops.
Yeah,
I don't fuck with the police.
I feel.
I'm gonna be talking like, "Hey, sir, yes, I'm having a great day. Yes, it's sunny. Sunny outside. Yes. What kind of gun is that? I mean, it's a nice gun."
No, it was kind of funny because I was talking to FC Violent, the FN, and somebody brought up this tweet that I made. Right, it was about me being white, supposedly, right? And it had to do with what's it called? It had to do with my gun license, not my gun license, but when I had to register for a gun, right? And I had to sign up as a white guy. And he was like, "So how does it feel being a white guy now?" I'm like, "What the fuck? I guess the cops don't bother me and shit." You know what I'm saying? And I'm Hispanic. You know what it was crazy.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, I guess we're gonna end this show, if anything, man. It was pretty fun talking to you guys, honestly. But hey, Thrash, whenever you got time, I need to overlay something real quick because it's the chat thing is kind of weird. But yeah, man. Okay. Fucking, I know you don't do outros or intros, so nobody gives a fuck, I guess.
No, I'm good. I mean, everybody else can. No.
Just do it one time, man. Just one time. Just for this show.
All right. Check out the Game of Despairs podcast. Comes on whenever he's ready to get it on.
You know what I'm saying? I'll probably be there if I'm able to be there to show my support. You know what I'm saying? So if you do what you do, then support the nigga. You know what I'm saying? Everybody needs support. So
Yeah,
give
for
support,
sure.
man. I'm ready here to hear Kay's little laugh that she does, dog. It's cute. That's why I'm
shit.
here.
God damn. Fuck. Hey, man. You guys are drivers, man. Hey, yo. Hey, he's trying to hit on your ass right now, man. What the fuck is going on right now? Shit. Okay. What the fuck? You guys setting up a date? What the fuck is going on?
No.
That's the whole thing. Hey, girls can be cute whatever you want their booty, my nigga. What's going on? Shit. God.
I'm just fucking with you, Thrash and K. Hey, what's popping, K, though?
I don't know. Nothing much.
You gotta be
I don't
more
really got much
vocal
to
next
say.
time, alright? You
Alright,
and
alright.
Lamar, I don't know what the fuck he's doing. I think he's taking dumps like every fucking 30 minutes and shit, so... go ahead, though, okay.
Oh no. Man, I'm not trying to do anything for myself. I'm just, just working, driving, and playing games and talking to you guys on Twitter. And just having a good time.
Awesome. What about you, Lamar? What's your little, King Thrash called you, a little FN?
Nah, I enjoyed. I don't know why I find that so funny.
It's not even just that, because you know what was funny? I'm not gonna. Hey, Omar, sorry, I have to bring this up because I wanted sick humor in here. And there was a story. Hey, Thrash, you gotta hear this one. There was a story where Omar accidentally called sick humor FN, right? And Omar didn't know what the hell an FN was. And so Omar had to go over to message, what's it called? Sick Humor TV, and apologize because he didn't know what it meant. Ew.
And Chick was genuinely not cool about it. And I said it literally on air. And I think I actually said it, or I
no.
typed it in chat. But I genuinely didn't know what FN meant.
It's all good, man, bro. It happens. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what do you think about that, Thrash? What do you think about that? What do you think about that?
Huh? For me?
Yeah, what do you think about that? Him calling sick humor FN?
Well, I mean, I'm a realist, right? So, I mean, I know that.
He's like, I'm a realist.
He know what FN meant in the first place, but he heard people say it, and he know how it's generalized, right?
Yeah.
I
And
had no idea what it meant. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't mean it.
But also you still clearly how you still reacting. You don't know what it means, still, nigga. You still don't know what it means.
Now I do know what it means.
Nigga ain't a word that's made only for black people to use. Nigga means it's an acronym. It means never ignorant, getting goals accomplished. Nigga, that's what that means. But a lot of people don't know what that means, and some people think that it means well, this ain't my channel, but the N with the GR. You know what I'm saying? They think it's that, and it doesn't mean that. But people think that it does, and those are the ones who get beat up. That's why people get beat up for saying nigga, even though they didn't say the NGR, because they're saying it in a way to where they believe the same thing.
Yeah.
That's what racists say it and not get beat up, and you see some racists say it and do get beat up, but it's mainly because it's like Spanish, bro. Like if you say cerote, to a Salvadorian, and not know what that shit mean, you might get your ass whipped over it. You know what I'm saying? Like it just is what it is.
Plus, what I noticed lately is like, what I've noticed throughout my life, pretty much so far, like at 32, is that you can only use the word when you have respect from, the other
I mean, but how you
race.
gonna? But then if you not, so that means you can only temporarily use it, right? You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
I mean-
Because other race, like strangers ain't gonna know your respect level.
Well,
you know?
put it this way. Okay, so once, so one of my friends was into gangbanging, right? And he brought in this guy that I didn't know. He was a black dude, right? Oh, what the hell was that? Is you Thresh? The fuck?
No, that was me. I'm listening.
Okay, yeah. So like, I didn't know this dude, right? And he came in. He was a Peace Stone from California. And they came in, they got jumped by somebody, and we were about to go smoke, right? And I said, what happened to y'all, N-word? And Yeah, not the NER, but I mean the GER. But you know, and then I noticed that he gained my respect because you know I was cool with him. But then somebody ended up saying the N word that was part of my crew too, and he didn't like that. I feel like when you have that respect with somebody, then you can use it. You know what I mean?
For 2 miles.
You may not have known what it meant, but maybe that guy, the way he said it, he didn't know what it meant. Or that nigga.
Oh no,
again,
they know what
maybe
they meant. They know what they meant because we've been saying that shit since middle school, bro.
Well, shit. Yeah, it could be that too.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
I'm
saying?
Hispanic,
like, if you don't have that. Yeah.
But
I mean,
it's also a word. It's like, for example, I can be cool with trash, and if it is the N-word, he can get mad. Or he can be cool with it. You don't know. You only know when you try it out. And it's not worth it to try it out.
I think it's stupid to get mad at it. If it's ER, I'm gonna get mad, right? But
yeah, that's different. That's different.
No, that's way different. I'm talking about
get mad at anyone who says nigga, unless I've been dealing with the racial shit my entire life, so I can tell, even if you speak another language, that you said some racist shit, right? And like I found that is the more if you get mad about that shit, then you're giving that word power, too much power. You know what I'm saying? You're giving the ER.
Well, they say that they be giving that word way too much power that it doesn't really have or need.
Yeah, like I can see if it's some old white dude with a shotgun. Come here, now that's one thing. You know what I'm saying? But like, if somebody like, hey, what's up, my nigga? Like, you could tell like that it's not on some bullshit. Why get mad? You're just giving that word way too much. That's why I say people get mad at me when I say white people are genius for making that word, but they are. That word just has far too much power on it. Just far too much power. So much power that you can say a whole entirely different word with an entire different meaning, and people will still get mad, like you said, that word that they made up.
Yeah.
You know?
Or just do like what your boy did, man. Family Guy. You know, you instead of calling him FN, just call him a fuck nugget. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Straight up.
It just got too much. It's a separating power, and it shouldn't be there. You know what I'm saying? To me, I feel like everybody should say it. If you a nigga, you a nigga. I mean, it means never ignorant, getting goals accomplished. That's the true meaning of it.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
That's the true meaning of it. You know what I mean? I'm a nigga. I've been a nigga. I could tell you all type of black people lore, bro. About the riots, everything, bro. I could tell you all the lore that people don't know, but the media tells you different. You know what I mean? But it's definitely not true. So I mean, to get mad about it, you're just being dumb. Any nigga who get mad about that shit and it's not on some racist shit is being dumb. That's the whole gist of. To me, that's just what it is.
Yeah,
You're being dumb. Too much power.
Yeah, like I said, you know, growing up with Hispanics and, you know, some of my best friends were black people, like I kind of grew up in the words, but, you know, some of you guys on social media, I don't know you in person, so it's kind of hard for me to say it, you know, so I'm not going to, you know, just use it out of context or anything like that.
Like you told me, be you, nigga, what you doing? Is there somebody with a PhD next to you, nigga? Like, what you doing? Like, you gotta be you at all times. I'd be like, shit, nigga, fuck that. I'm gonna be you at all times. I had a white homie. I got a white homie who looks super white, bro, but super down and hate racial shit. Huh?
Like albino?
No. He's just white. Like when I say super white, I mean like everything about him is white. His mannerisms, everything. He doesn't say nigga, doesn't say nigger, none of that shit. Right? He hates that shit with a passion. And you know, we at the bar and shit, and this motherfucker, and he was sitting next to this other white dude. Like he was drinking. The other white dude.
Hold on, I hear like voices crossing. Is somebody speaking behind you?
No, that's not GPS.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's my GPS.
Okay, go ahead.
But he must have told him so. He wouldn't even tell me what he said. That's how pissed off he was. But this nigga was beating the living daylights out of this motherfucker. Just all of a sudden, not even know. I'm over here. I'm looking at bitches and shit. I'm not even knowing, right? I'm looking at bitches not knowing what the fuck. Like, you know, anything is happening now. But I guess he said some racial shit. Like, why is that nigger here? You know what I'm saying? But talking to him, thinking because, you know what I'm saying? Thinking because he's white that it was cool. And the homie must have got up and beat that nigga ass and said, you people don't belong. You know what I'm saying? That's all he kept saying. You people don't fucking belong. You embarrassing my race. You know what I mean? That's why I can't like people be like, oh, all white people are bad, and I can't. I'd be like, shut the fuck up, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like, get that shit the fuck out of my. Everybody has bad. Everybody has good.
them out.
Period. There are no perfect beings, dog. I don't want to hear that shit. But there are great. I know some great white folks. I know some great Asian folks. I know some great Hispanic folks. I'm not going to sit there and take off of what one person did or one set of people did and put it on the rest of the race. And I don't do that because I don't want people to best. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
it
I
don't make
respect
sense.
Treat
that,
others
bro.
like
Man,
you
honestly,
want
I
to be
respect
treated, dude. That's it. You know, treat others the way you want to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at the end of the
I
day.
do.
That's why I don't like people being uncomfortable around me about. I mean, even if you have questions about it, fucking ask me. I'd rather you ask me than guess. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather you ask. I don't give a fuck how bad the question sounds. I'd rather you ask me than to just assume, because assuming just going to be worse. You know?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's, I don't know, bro. That shit needs to go away. I'm so tired of it, bro. My family was tired of it. My dad was tired of it. Before he passed away, he had to deal with shit. Man, one last story, a quick one, right?
Before
My
you go with
dad,
the story, hey, bro, I look at it the same way, to be honest with you. Like, I have black people defend me, white people, Asian people. I have everybody defend me. See, here's the thing. The way I look at it is, I love y'all, but that doesn't mean I have to fucking like you no matter your skin color. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a shit. I like everybody equal. I mean, I love everybody equally, but that's it. But go ahead.
Yes, I'm saying, I think it's the detriment to your fucking mental value if you do that. But my pops, right now, I come from a family of geniuses, right? Not trying to brag or no shit, but
This is
it's
motherfucker.
geniuses. My pops was he was in the army and shit. He built nuclear missiles, and there were tests for that shit. Like, they had a 80%, 85% failure rate, and he aced it. He missed one question, and he knew the exact question he missed because he second guessed himself, right? And nobody ever did that in the history of it. And it was so big that they had him write the tests after that, right?
Damn, that's what she said.
Building nuclear missiles and, doing tests for people. They even told him his test was too hard. He's like, well, shit, they should know this shit. Like, the fuck, right? But still. Racism so bad that after he got out the army, he retired already. Trying to get another job somewhere else. He retired. I mean, when he passed away, not when he passed away, but his last job.
Merge onto California 60 West.
His last job, he worked at fucking Walmart because he couldn't get a job anywhere else because he was overqualified.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? So he could. I mean,
What
he was
is overqualified?
Nigga, you tell me. He was working at Pet Boys, and he was training all of the master mechanics, right? He was a master mechanics, right? And he was getting paid less than the people he was trained. So he was like, why don't y'all just make me, the people who I'm training? Why I gotta train all these people and then get paid less? I mean, obviously I know more than them. But he said, well, we need you right here, so we're not gonna do. He's like, what the fuck you mean? Like, he's training all these white dudes. They all fucking barely know what the fuck they're doing for a job, and then he can't even get that job. You know what I'm saying? So he ended up quitting that company. So it's like, people can say he come to Texas and they calling him boy and all this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, if you look at how dumb society is, we hold back our evolution. Like, we look at alien spaceships, whether you believe them or not. I mean, people want to fly out in space, but how are we going to do that if we hold the knowledge of each other back just because of a color?
Facts.
It's just ridiculous to see that type of shit go down the way. I mean, watching my dad like have fucking work at Walmart just to make ends meet because nobody else was hired him because he was overqualified.
How does
It's
that
just
work,
insane
right?
to me. It's fucking insane to me.
Bow,
So,
sorry, man.
I mean,
I couldn't stop laughing because you called Omar the N-word and shit. I was just, man, dude, fucking
hey,
dying.
but shit, nigga, do.
This is what I genuinely like Trash. He don't give a fuck.
No,
He
he
call it
doesn't.
how it is.
I feel that you're never ignorant, and therefore, nigga, you a nigga. I ain't it. Shit.
All right, guys. Hey, we gotta end the show, man. Fuck. I'm gonna talk to you guys later, man. Hopefully, hey, Omar, Kay, you guys gotta get more vocal, man. I want to hear you guys' voices.
Okay.
All right then. All right.
Hey,
Take care.
I like her little cute laugh. Just fucking with you, K, my nigga. I mean, you don't gotta keep that. It do make.
Are you guys gonna sell some beef right now, or what the fuck is it? It's because what you said, a K or what? I don't know, man. I think something's popping off. I don't know.
Yeah, just because I would treat her just like I treat everybody else, except she's a chick, so I can say things to her that I'm not gonna say to no nigga. So I'm gonna tell a nigga. Yeah, I'm supposed to tell Jazz, "Hey, Jazz, your laugh is cute, Jazz." Oh my god! Like, no,
Really?
Actually, Jez, I didn't get a chance for your outro. Actually,
Oh no problem, man. Thanks for the invite. Awesome time. Hope I didn't talk too much.
Nah, bro.
But, man, I'm wound up, man. You hit those trigger words, I go off.
brother. You're Italian,
thank
bro.
you
You're
again.
going to talk, man. Shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, look at it on the camera. I'll be smack. How many times I smack my mic with my hands? You know, the friggin' like pause. Oh shit. But anyway, yeah, this is it grinds my gears. You can check me out on my YouTubes over there. I did a gaming grindhouse and stuff. But yeah, definitely. Thank you for the invite, man. I had a great time talking to everybody. Fun times, and yep, we'll see what happens on the other go around. But yeah, sometimes you just sit back and just watch it burn.
Yeah,
because you know what, it's pretty crazy. I gotta get you guys on the show. I'm gonna get you guys on the gaming grindhouse. I didn't even want to do one last night, man. I was so tired from the weekend. I was like, oh my god, and then I was the only one on the show. But yeah, I'm gonna get you guys on there. I'm gonna get more of a panel going, so we get some there, Thrash and everybody else on here. Game and Spare, get you on there. Yeah. But you were doing a round table at the time. I was like, oh damn.
Oh yeah, he was doing it yesterday.
Yeah, he was doing it yesterday. Yeah.
So,
What are you saying, Thresh?
no. I just said on Jazz. Anytime you want me on, just hit me up, bro.
All right, thanks,
God
man.
damn, that
Yeah,
shit sounds
definitely.
decent.
Game and Span.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
There you go.
No, I'm just kidding. All right.
No, I
man.
get you. Thanks, man.
All right,
Yeah, but
man.
thanks for the invite, man. Awesome time. You hit that like button and share this out. I already shared out. This is not a test. You got to fix that, though. I'm telling you. Tip, make sure the title of your
Oh yeah.
show
Okay, I'm gonna
out
change
there.
that. All right.
When you share
No,
it out, it just keeps saying test. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
man.
no,
I
that's what's
fucked
gonna
up,
say
man.
test
Hey,
too.
Fix that.
Hold on. I'm still new to this shit. All right, so I kind of fucked up, but I'm gonna edit it.
If you're gonna learn anything, just make sure your title's shared out. I'm gonna tell you,
All
it'll go a far way. I'll tell you that, because everybody sees test and they think that you're really testing out your channel or something like that. They don't think it's a show.
Yeah, my bad. I kind of panicked a little bit, and I was like,
No,
shit,
that's fine. But I'm just saying,
Yeah. I got it. I'm
You're
gonna
gonna-
I bet you said put it up.
get that title going.
Lamar, shut your ass up. I'm gonna change it up. I'm
And
gonna
also,
edit
too,
it.
I'm gonna tell you, make some like funny, have some like catchy title too.
Shut the
Just be
fuck
like,
up, man.
hey.
You know what the hell I was trying to do. Like, hold on, I messed up on that. I get it, but I'll put in I'll put in a title on there. I'll edit it, and I'll put your show on there too, Jez, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that watch you too, just like King Thrash.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah.
Yeah, because I know you guys. I don't know. Yeah, I guess you guys have huge testicles. All right, so yeah, I'm just gonna end the stream. Talk to you later, man. Peace out.